Tonight's Donald Trump will address a joint session of Congress to address the State of the Union. I'm not calling it the State of the Union. I'm saying he will address the State of the Union. Apparently, it's not a State of the Union because Trump's serving a non-consecutive term. So it's supposed to be like the first address to Congress. But, you know, it's only happened one other time. But it's going to be interesting. That will be up at 9 o'clock. Around 9 o'clock, Donald Trump will be speaking. And some expect him to go either an hour and a half. It could be as long as 2 hours. The way Donald Trump goes at rallies, he has a lot to say. And we're hearing that he has not prepared a substantial, or I should say typical speech, whereas a president usually has speechwriters, teleprompters, and advisors. Apparently, Trump has got bullet points. He's got a bit of a script, but you know how Trump goes. He's going to go off the cuff. He's going to speak off script quite a bit. So it could actually be long. Who knows? But we do have big news. The IRS is putting together a plan to lay off up to 45,000 staff.
Woo.
I know. I when I heard that news, I was just like, anybody who doesn't cheer for that, you can't be my friend. You get out of here, because that's weird. Okay. Yes, the IRS doesn't need this many people. Let's do this. This is great news. Then we've got a bunch of crazy news. According to the Daily Mail, Trump is apparently he may propose relinquishing U.S. NATO leadership to other European nations, a move towards the U.S. potentially getting out of NATO. And then with the tariffs in play, things are getting pretty crazy. Ontario's threatens Americans, saying he would cut off their electricity. I mean, that's pretty serious because of these tariffs. And then, of course, we have the Democrat senators producing that scripted cringe video where they all said the exact same thing. You know, you get it. So we'll talk about all of these things. Before we get started, my friends, head over to castbrew.com and buy Cast Brew coffee. We got 2 weeks till Christmas, despite the fact it's been over 2 months since Christmas. But still, Phil Labonte has got some rockin' gingerbread coffee, and he is dressed like Santa Claus. Ian's Graphene Dream is still not in stock, but Appalachian Nights and Rise with Roberto Jr. is. So definitely pick up some Cast Brew coffee. Now, we're not going to have a special episode of the Uncensored show today, but we will have a Green Room episode, which will go up. And, you know, someone reminded me, I can't repeat what was said, but someone reminded me about the Mike Crispy episode we did for the Green Room. So go to rumble.com/Timcast IRL, click playlists, check out the Green Room with Mike Crispy. It's spicy. It's funny. The world is ending, and uncensored, not so family friendly. So you can check out all of our Rumble Premium content. If you go to Rumble Premium, sign up using promo code TIM10, you get $10 off your annual membership. But don't forget, timcast.com as well. Join the Discord. Go to timcast.com, click join us. Get active in the Discord server. It's a chat room. Don't just be a passive viewer watching the news and the world pass you by. Get involved, because I know you care because you're watching every day. So when you get involved in the Discord server, you're going to make friends with over 20,000 individuals who are going to share stories, connect with you. You guys will build things, and this will build community. You will get involved. So many people say, what do I do to get started? How do I get involved? Meet people. That's how the founding fathers did it. So we're not just setting up the Discord server, working on Cast Brew, coffee franchises, physical locations. We're doing the Culture War live in-person show to bring our members from the Discord onto the debate stage, onto the show to decentralize that power structure. So check out timcast.com. Don't forget to smash the like button. Share the show with everyone you know. Joining us tonight to talk about this and watch Trump give his speeches, Rachel Wilson.
Hello. Thanks for having me back. It's good to be here.
Who are you? What do you do?
I am the wife of the venerable and much feared Andrew Wilson. The legend, the handsome legend himself. I also have a book called Occult Feminism, The Secret History of Women's Liberation, which you can find on Amazon. And I have my own little YouTube channel. It's just my name, Rachel Wilson.
Right on. Thanks for hanging out. We got Raymond hanging out.
I think you're awesome too, Rachel.
Well,
Andrew as well,
Raymond.
of course.
Thank you.
I'm Raymond G, my friends. I am the host of the non-existent show, Blue Collar Cast. So I look forward to hearing Trump speak. Phil.
Hello, everybody. My name is Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains. I'm an anti-communist and a counter-revolutionary. Let's go.
I'd just like to thank President Trump for everything. I mean, the Doge stuff, it's all great. But particularly today, I'd like to thank him for having his joint address to Congress at 9 p.m. so that we are able to actually cover news stories in the first hour. Otherwise, it would just be us listening to him speak, which is fine. But, you know, now we get to riff a little bit. We got this story from the AP. Ladies and gentlemen, this may be some of the best news. The only news that could be better is when they formally announce the layoff of these IRS agents. The IRS is drafting plans to cut as much as half of its 90,000 person workforce, AP sources say. Well, there's the news. When I first heard this, I was watching Fox News. I think it was the 5 or something. And they didn't seem freaked out by this. Like, they weren't excited. I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've heard in a very long time. 45,000 IRS agents to be laid off.
Yeah, and that's great. And all these people that are getting laid off, they had the opportunity to quit and take not a pension,
Severance
but take
package,
severance that would take care of them until September. They all could have just said, "Hey, man, I'm out."
Can they
now?
still?
I don't think so. I think that there was a time limit on it, and so
Ouch.
too bad, so sad. I mean,
it's a mix of layoffs, attrition, and incentivized buyouts.
Okay.
So some people may still get paid out. The layoffs are part of the Trump admin's effort to shrink the size of the federal workforce through DOGE. You know what I love is that
I was going to say, yeah.
Republicans have been saying forever the government's too big, but they've never done anything about it.
Nope.
Now Trump is like, we've got a hatchet man, and we're going to fire people.
not only like your point's great, is well stated, but not only that, but it's also going to change the way that Republicans behave in the future, because now you see that it's not just lip service. That it's not like, oh, I paid lip service, but I don't know what to do, man. We got into office and I can't do anything. Palms up. I'm sorry, and it's all, everything's the same as it always has been. Donald Trump has demonstrated that the president has significant authority to make changes in, at the very least, the executive branch. And the executive branch is where a massive portion of the bureaucracy is. All of the cabinet has all, like, the lion's share of all the bureaucracy is the executive branch. Yeah. So Donald Trump has demonstrated that the president had, like, I forget the exact phrase, but Lincoln said something like, "I'm the president and I'm clothed with enormous power," or something like that. And it's true. The president has a lot of power. And I think that we're going to see the Supreme Court actually rule on that, because there's people that are taking the firings and stuff to, they're trying to use the courts to prevent the president. And that's exactly what needs to happen. These things need to get in front of the Supreme Court. And I think that it's highly likely that the Supreme Court is going to say, no, in Article 2, the powers that are vested in the president are not vested in a bureaucracy. The president has the ultimate authority to fire people. If you don't like that, that is too bad. You can work to change the Constitution, get out there and get an amendment, but until you do that, the president has the authority to fire people. The executive, the office of the executive, actually must do what the president says.
Look at how the AP ends the article. The federal tax collector employs roughly 90,000 workers total across the United States. According to the latest IRS data, people of color make up 56% of the IRS workforce, and women represent 65%. Okay, so what I'm going to say right now is DEI has failed.
Fire them.
When you are not reaching parity, that's what they say. The woke say the percentage in a workforce should represent the percentage in the community.
Right.
So if 56% are people of color, that would indicate racism, and if 65% are women, sexism.
Exactly.
So apparently the DEI has not been working.
Also, I want to know, why don't we have DEI for dirty, dangerous, and difficult stuff? Like, why isn't anybody fighting for equality in, like, trash collection or sewer treatment, or the guys that have to do the power line stuff?
I want women cleaning sewers.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We need blue-collar women.
Women of color need to be out there.
We need to get women of color cleaning sewers.
Exactly.
And working on
for
oil
equality,
rigs.
because we love them.
It is so frustrating. That's a great point.
I mean, those jobs pay well.
They do.
Like, I'm totally happy. It's, in all seriousness,
A longshore woman? Forget about
if
it.
there is a woman of color who wants to work on an oil rig and make $120K a year in a dangerous job, but she can do it, like, let's get that going. Yeah. Like, those jobs should be available, but for some reason, we're not seeing the interest. Why is that? Is it because we're not adequately advocating for these women to go work these dangerous jobs?
Because they lie and they're preaching and they're just all their words are fake and empty.
Everybody knows why. It's because these jobs are hard and dangerous.
Exactly.
And it's because those people no one wants to go and do the hard, dangerous jobs.
Right.
They want to get the cushy, easy jobs, and they want to sit there and complain and tell you that you're a bad person because they didn't get them. It is exhausting.
They call this air conditioner feminism.
Yes.
That's what I heard.
Fair.
Yeah, the idea, I can't remember who coined the phrase. The idea was women are fighting for jobs where they get to be in air-conditioned, comfortable environments.
Yes.
And they never are fighting for working on oil rigs or in sewers.
And then they're going to bitch because you put the air conditioning on too high.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy thing because, like,
That's true.
You're right.
It's
too cold in here.
But there's the reason why it's cold is not because people hate women. It's because men can't take their clothes off.
Yeah.
So if it's hot in an office, guys in suits are all drenched in sweat. So they say, we got to lower the temperature. And then women are like, but I'm cold. So put a sweater on. And then they're like, that's not fair. Why should we have to do that? Because men can't take their clothes off.
You ever have to be in an office for some reason? You know, you're like in HR or something, and the woman there has like a space heater under her desk and a space heater on top of her desk, and they have blankets.
Yeah, they
I go
love
into my
blankets.
doctor's office, and the office ladies have blankets. I'm like, you're bringing your blankie to work now?
But
I'm fine with it. I mean, the space heaters are expensive, right?
Yeah.
But I'm fine with a woman having a sweater or a blanket. I'm not okay with...
Sweater, sure. Like maybe just dress yourself.
I think blanket's fine. Like, if the office is cold, it makes more sense that a woman puts a blanket on than all of the men have to strip down to their shorts.
Agreed.
That's insane. It's like one woman puts one blanket on, or 30 guys take off all their clothes. You can have the blanket.
Personally, I want them uncomfortable.
I'm sure you do, but I think this is great in the aspect of the fact that Republicans aren't sitting on their hands. Right now, they're known for writing strong worded letters and sitting on their hands, and now they're just going to go ahead. Doge is going to fire half of them, or at least let them go.
To be fair, Republicans still send their hands. Trump and MAGA are very different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aren't there still some
Thank you for the
Republicans who are upset about this too? Like they really don't want the wrecking ball taken to the deep state?
The Bill Crystals of the world.
Well, I don't know.
He's a
not
liberal now.
Republican
Yeah.
anymore.
Oh, has he changed parties?
He posted in support of trans rights.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he's
Yeah.
the worst.
So it's an interesting... Maybe we can talk about it in a
He's
little
the
bit.
king of the swamp.
He
in my
is.
opinion.
It was a really interesting point. I think Chris Rufo made it that... Was it Chris Rufo? Let me make sure I'm attributing this properly because I retweeted it. Basically, that tons of these anti-Trump personalities said that they were taking this stance based on... it was Chris Rufo, who said, I find it fascinating that so many of the never-Trump intellectuals initially opposed him on the ground of conservative principles, but gradually and without explanation changed all of their principles so they now oppose him on purely progressive grounds. And it's a reference to Bill Kristol saying, stand with trans Americans. You don't have to understand everything about the transgender experience to know that Trump's acts of humiliation and dehumanization are unjust and dangerous. The interesting thing about Kristol and others was that they had actually tweeted quite a bit against LGBTQ groups only a few years ago. But now they're just literally orange man bad, so we support anything the progressives are pushing.
It's disgusting.
I think it's a risk.
Hypocritical.
I think it's one of the risks of having a form of governance that's based on like dialectical tension as well. This is why kind of like the Republican and Democrat Party at the turn of the century also kind of flipped and flopped on some things. Because if you exist purely to oppose the other side, then if the other side does because Trump was really more like a 90s liberal. He was never
100%.
some staunch conservative.
The whole all of the MAGA people that are in the office of or in the executive branch now, they're all former Democrats.
Yeah.
Tulsi, RFK, Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea that there are some kind of really far right
Could have been in the Bill
conservatives.
Clinton administration.
There's no truth to that. No truth to it. It's the left has moved so incredibly far. We live in, and I keep saying this regularly, we live in a leftist milieu so badly now. We are so steeped in it that something even marginally right of center seems to the left as far right extremism.
But I don't think it's fair to say left anymore.
Yeah.
It's more so where we are, which I would describe as like fairly center with some liberal leaning, fairly liberal in a lot of ways.
Yes.
This is the I see a problem, I want fixed party, and the Democrats are the I hate you party. So that's why you can come out and the Hassan thing is a really good example. I tweeted that Hassan got suspended, not banned, and then he tweeted Tim Pool defends Rick Scott, and I'm like, okay, well, I didn't. But the point is, well, sure, but the point was their opposition to us is not rooted in fact. It is not rooted in policy. It is rooted in you are bad. That's it. So fascist, Nazi, they just literally mean bad guy. You are bad guy.
And bad is just opposed to them because they can do absolutely mendacious, horrible things. He will celebrate that he was celebrating terrorists. He was celebrating Luigi Mangione murdering a man who done nothing wrong other than be the CEO of a business. Right? He's the CEO of a healthcare company. And sure, the way our healthcare or not healthcare company, health insurance company, but ensure the way that our healthcare industry and the insurance that goes along with it, it's a complete pigsty and it's a mess. I agree, but that doesn't make it okay to just murder people because this guy doesn't like it. But people like Hassan, the far left, they will celebrate that because they are just absolutely bad people.
Yeah, Tim's right. It really doesn't have anything to do with leftism per se. It's more just like they will bite any bullet as long as it's against you.
Ukraine.
Yeah.
John Oliver did a Last Week Tonight on Ukraine, and for the life of me, this is the craziest thing imaginable. It's one thing to say, I know some friends of mine are trans, and I'm concerned about the things they're going through, and that's an emotional experience, and I'm like, okay, let's have the argument over science and the issue, blah, blah, blah. Morality, fine. Ukraine makes no sense. There is not a single argument that Democrats can present or that they have present other than, what was it, the Budapest Agreement? Where they're like, well, 30 years ago, we said that we would defend Ukraine if Russia invaded. And we also promised that we wouldn't expand to NATO, but then we did, neither of which were approved by Congress. But that means now we have to fight. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to pause you right there. Sure, we promised Ukraine we'd defend them. That is not a reason to defend them. Like I'm saying, like, what is the logical mathematic function of defending Ukraine? What is gained from it? What is the end result? Why should we do it? We said we would. No. Saying I said I would do it does not mean you should. Imagine this. 30 years ago, there's this cliff overlooking a beautiful lake. And you say, I'll tell you what, if at any time, someone cuts that tree down, I will be here and I will cliff dive off this thing. And then you show up 30 years later and the lake is barren. It's rocks now, and they go, jump. And you go, well, I can't do it now.
Yeah.
And they're like, you said you would. That's not a reason to do it. The circumstances have dramatically changed. And the argument that 30 years ago we said we'd do it, and it's like, yeah, okay, everything's completely different now. That's not a reason. If you come to me and say, we're going to get mineral rights, we're going to secure Ukraine, we're going to get access to Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant or whatever, I'd be like, oh, okay, the U.S. trying to do a thing. No, they're just like, we have no reasons. We like Zelensky and Trump is bad. Oh, okay, well, it's not a reason to be in a war.
And I don't know if they even like Zelensky. They just hate Trump. They think they're maggots. They don't. Yeah, because he was. We all know this is a fact. Ukraine has been terrible and has been corrupt for thousands of years, for hundreds of thousands of years, and it's been in every article written. And then all of a sudden, just because Trump's like, you know what, you're my favorite person in the world, and they're going to back him from the
Ukraine
because of Putin. Because of Russia.
You know that Kiev was the capital of Russia?
I did hear that.
Very long time ago.
Yeah.
Ukrainian Rus are the actual first Russians.
Oh.
Yep, and then it moved. And Ukraine means borderland. And
good game, video game.
It is. And for the Ukrainians, they don't have the same connection to country as a lot of other people do. Like, I don't want to completely disparage them and say that they don't have any kind of nationalism. Of course, that's not true. Sure. But there's a big difference between the Ukrainians and the Russians. I'll give you a simple example. 7 million Ukrainians fled the country. And this is a population. It was a population of like 39 million at the time. So you're looking at a massive portion of the country, 20% fleeing instantly. And large portions refusing to fight and being forced into conscription. It is not a deeply patriotic and nationalistic nation. Most of the people that I spoke with when I was down there, and the sentiment that was conveyed to me, they want to join the EU so they could leave Ukraine and go and work in Europe where they'd make more money.
Right.
These are not people who are like, the borderlands are our country, we believe in. It's like, okay. The oligarchs who rule the country did it through force. When the Soviet Union collapsed, they went around with guns and just took over properties. So it doesn't have the same nationalist fervor as other countries do.
It's decreased 10 million within the last from 2021 to 2025.
Yep.
10 million.
And I believe 7 million were fled at the start of the war.
6.9 to 8 millions. Yeah.
Yep. Fled at the start of the war. Or because of the war.
And aren't the east portion of Ukraine were Russian? Like they side with the Russians?
They're mostly ethnically and Russian-speaking people in the eastern portion.
As is Crimea. where the Russian naval base is and has been since the Soviet era. So for Russia, when the Soviet Union collapsed, they lost control of Ukraine for the most part, but still maintained these strategic military positions. So they were not going to let NATO come in and bring these people into the EU. Let's jump to this next story. And I will just stress, my friends, the Trump joint presidential address will be starting around 9. We do have the videos queued up to go as soon as it does, but we are grabbing the news in the meantime. So smash that like button, share the show, share it on social media wherever you can, and we'll read this from the Daily Mail. Exclusive. Trump considers relinquishing leadership of NATO and insists UK and France take more responsibility as Starmer plans return to D.C. with Zelensky to present United Front on Peace plan. I mean, this right here, the first paragraph is the news. Donald Trump is considering relinquishing its leadership role, or is considering having the U.S. relinquish its leadership role in NATO after insisting that European allies take more responsibility for the security of the continent, the Mail can reveal. The U.S. has held its leadership position since the founding of the Defense Alliance in the aftermath of World War II. Since then, the Supreme Allied Commander of Europe has always been a senior U.S. general. But in line with the U.S.'s insistence that European allies take more responsibility for Europe's security, it also expects a British or French general to take up this position. Yeah. This is massive. Elon Musk advocated for us getting out of NATO.
I have been saying for the longest time, let's get out of NATO, let's get out of the UN, all these post-World War II power structures that have been around for decades. We all know about the corruption. We all know that they don't really do a whole lot except for collect a lot of money and do a lot of corrupt stuff with it. And I think that this whole crony power structure kind of needs to go. Now, what replaces it, who knows? Like my theory is that this is kind of the old guard post-World War II, like the Zbigniew Brzezinski and all those guys, right? And the Bush family, that's all going away. And it's like looking to me like the technocrats are the ones that are kind of rising up and taking it over. Not sure that that's wholesale good, but if they're going to dismantle the deep state and take out all this nonsense, there's no way that's bad.
I like the idea of the United States not being the having a leadership role. And as in not being the one that's directing what the UN does. No matter what happens, for the UN to be effective, it is still going to rely on the United States military.
Yes.
There's no question about that. So, do we move to a situation where the UN will decide, we want to go and have troops here and have troops there? And the U.S. will decide maybe we do want to go, maybe we don't want to go. I think that's fine. That doesn't say anything about Article 5. If there's an attack on a NATO country, we're still obligated to defend them. And I think that's okay. But I think that the idea that the United States should have the sovereignty to decide when the U.S. is going to actually use military force and not be, told what they have to do by other countries. I think that's a good thing for the United States. And it doesn't change the fact that the U.S. is still going to spend probably 3 to 4% of our GDP on the military. The U.S. will still make all kinds of weapons and will still sell them to the rest of, allied countries or NATO countries. There will still be a military industrial complex in the United States. We're not going to just get rid of all these companies. Raytheon's not going to go out of business because they'll still make all those weapons. The United States will still have access to that. And so I don't think that it would be as much of a catastrophe as people on the left are going to, or people in the Democrat Party are going to make it out to be.
They can't give you a reason. Honestly, listen, Democrats and liberals, there's probably only the smallest amount who could engage in the sophistry required to explain why we should maintain NATO at current pace.
Yeah. Global
order, the liberal economic order, expansionist policies, one world government, whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
That's an ideological goal. I mean, honestly, if I ask somebody, why should we be in NATO? And this, like a Krasenstein said, well, we want dominion over the earth. I'd be like, oh, okay. Well, right, I get that. I disagree. I don't think we should do that. So, I oppose that.
It's okay when we do it, Tim.
No, I know. It's funny because I was talking to a liberal friend of mine recently, and they were saying Russia just does whatever they want. They take whatever they want. They invade whoever they want. And I was like, you're talking about the United States? You're talking about us? That's been my existence in this country. There's been a war every presidency. Trump was the first president not to start one, but he still had several under his belt. Granted, they were given to him, but and he was doing tremendous to stop those wars. It's funny that Trump's attitude now is like, why are we involved in these wars? It's wasting our time and money. And the Democrats are losing their minds.
Yeah, they're like, don't you dare stop the wars. It's like, what? You guys were the ones 20 years ago out protesting George W. Bush and no more wars and everything. But now...
Yeah, but to be fair, when they were protesting George W. Bush, this was my wake-up call moment when I'm a teenager, punk rock music. Remember, what was it? The System of a Down had that song where the music video was all Iraq war protest stuff.
Yeah.
What song was it? Do you remember?
It wasn't Chop Suey.
No. It was a big one, though. And I was like, man, like, why are we involved in this war? And so I'm 16. I'm out marching. I'm pissed off. I'm like, what is going on? I'm all angry. And then when Obama came around, he was like, vote for me, and I will expand our Middle Eastern presence. And everybody was like, no, he doesn't mean it. He's going to get our troops out of Iraq. And I was like, isn't he saying he's going to bolster our troops in Afghanistan? And they were like, no, listen, trust me, dude. How old was I? Like 20? They were like, it's going to be different with him. He's not some old white guy. He's like, that's what the narrative was.
Yeah.
They were like, he's not supposed to be here. He's like some guy from Chicago who got lucky. You got to vote for him. And I was like, all right. Okay, well, let's give it a shot, you know? And then within like a few weeks, he bombed a Pakistani village of women and children, or he authorized a drone strike that bombed. And I was like, hey, wait a minute. I went back to all of these anti-war people I knew, and I said, guys, help. Obama's bombing people. And they went, what? Obama's bombing people. We got to protest. Not protest what? Obama, he's bombing people. And they were like,
It's fine.
we don't care about that anymore. We have moved on.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, I ain't voting ever again.
Well, and the only thing I do see them still pushing, so like earlier today, there was Piers Morgan had a bunch of people on, Andrew was on there, but other people were on there trying to defend Ukraine. And what they did is something that is a very clear pattern. I have a piece on my Substack I wrote about this called Patterns in Wartime Propaganda. You can go back to before World War I and see this same narrative every time of, we got to fight them over there so we don't have to fight them over here. And they'll expand. It's this expansionist, like scaremongering of he's going to take the Balkans, right? And they've done this every single time for over 100 years. It's like, how many times are we going to fall for this?
Real quick. He's going to take the Balkans?
Well, that's what.
Why should I care?
Well, I don't know.
Like, is it going to make my eggs more expensive?
I think the Balkans will not do
Is there
anything to you.
Balkanese cheese that I'm going to be left out of or something? Or what's going to happen?
I got to visit the
Communism,
Balkans.
communism.
Not
I
much
don't know.
going
Like,
on.
they don't even.
Well, I don't like communism.
They don't even really say.
So I'm listening.
They don't even really say communism
No.
anymore. But it's.
I got to
just
be
like,
honest. If they said communism, I'd be more inclined to agree with them.
You'd be like, tell me more.
Yeah, if they were like, Putin is a communist, then I'd be like, really? Prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not so concerned. I know Putin was a KGB guy, and there are people that say no, he is actually a communist, and he would like to see the return of the Soviet Union. I don't see that happening. I don't think that he's going to go after any of the NATO countries because he could not even take Ukraine, right? Like the argument that
Well, had it not been for us, he would have taken.
No,
the
but
Without our help, of course.
the point is, yeah. I mean, if he can't take Ukraine, right, with the rest of the world doing what they did, he's certainly not going to take on NATO.
Ain't no way.
He's not taking
just tired of being
Poland.
gaslit that anybody cares about the rights of Ukrainians or democracy or any. That's not what any of this is about. The people who are involved in this conflict want power and resources, and it's about that. It's not about the poor Ukrainian people and their right to sovereignty or any of that crap. I'm so tired of hearing that because it's just not true.
That's the annoying thing because there's just no logical reason why an American would support Ukraine. None whatsoever. There is the simple, I feel bad for a foreign country that was invaded, but shall we go through the list of active conflicts around the globe? And then I might ask you why you don't care about anyone else?
Well, the media hasn't pushed that and beat that into their brains like they have with Ukraine.
Oh, so they're cultists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
They love the propaganda.
And I don't know why have we since World War II, how come? I mean, I understand why, because I'm America and I'm very nationalist and let's go team. But like us have to take over NATO, run everything. And we're like the boss babes of the world. And I'm glad that Trump and Elon, or not Elon, he has nothing to do with this, but just Trump and, JD is like bringing that down. Like, so let's settle that, let them be their own boss babes, see what they got to do and see how they fare. If they don't fare good, I'm sorry, sucks to be you.
Well, I mean, look, a lot of the changes that are happening are, can have significantly bad effects on the United States. We don't want to see the U.S. no longer being the global reserve, the dollar no longer being the global reserve currency. Because right now, if China and Russia want to buy oil, they have to buy dollars first. We have far too much debt as a nation to allow the rest of the world to stop buying our debt. And if the dollar stops being the reserve currency, if oil stops being priced in dollars, then our debt probably goes up significantly, and we can't get people to buy it anymore. People aren't going to.
Let's hope that Doge follows through on their threat to audit the Federal Reserve, because that would go a long way to solving some of that.
Well, I'm not so sure if it would solve it. It would give the American people more information about what actually goes on, but I don't know.
If we were finding out the same things about the Federal Reserve and the IRS that we've been finding out about USAID, I think it would blow things wide open, and we would have to restructure a lot of things.
I mean, I would like to see that, but part of the reason why we're on I'm not the guy that I don't back the Federal Reserve System, but if we were to just say, okay, well, we're going to move straight to a gold standard, we would have massive economic problems.
Well, no,
the
gold standard was problematic anyway, and now the Bitcoin reserve is a great idea. There's other ways that they could handle it. I'm not saying that we need to go back to the gold standard. I think there were already problems with the gold standard, but there's definitely problem with just endless money printing and billions of dollars of debt and 100%. All the abuses that everyone has. I was listening to this, Rush Limbaugh talk about this as a kid in the early 90s, and we're still dealing with it. So it's
Ron Paul was talking about it through the 90s and throughout all of the aughts and stuff. I am still a Ron Paul guy. I think that Ron Paul's got really great ideas, and
I voted
if we
for
did
him when he ran. So.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, it's not as simple as just the U.S. should withdraw from the world, because if the U.S. withdraws from the world, then China and Russia do expand.
I'm not saying
there is no you don't want to have a vacuum of power.
Would that be we're already in a multipolar world, right? China and Russia are already fairly powerful.
I don't think we're in as much of a multipolar world as some people think. The United States still has such incredible economic and military power. I mean, I've watched. I mean, this is just stuff on YouTube or on the internet and stuff. But the rest of the world, it's likely that we could take on China, and if you took out nukes, right, you could take China and Russia. The United States would likely be able to take China and Russia in a military conflict. If you took out nukes, nukes would destroy the whole world. There's no other individual country that's going to be able to take on China and Russia at all. Even with the number of think the number of people that China has.
So if China and Russia expand, what do you think would be? How far do you think that would go, and what do you think the problems would be specifically?
Well, I do think that China would take over the South China Sea, and that would change the way that you have to do shipping routes. Because China doesn't just look at China and Taiwan as China. They think South Korea is China. They think at least part of Japan is China.
And probably India.
I do believe that there are border conflicts with India currently.
Yeah. So they can't use weapons; they've used sticks.
Yeah. So China actually does think that they have significantly more territory than the rest of the world actually agrees with. If they were to police the South China Sea, that changes the trade routes and everything. That has a massive effect on anything that goes through there, that gets shipped through there. The prices change. You have a significant change. The U.S. would have to have actual infrastructure for the chips that we use now. Now, granted, we have begun taking steps to do something about that, but that has to happen faster. If they were to just change within the next 2 or 3 years, we wouldn't have the infrastructure built in the U.S. to have the semiconductors built here that we need, and that would have massive effects on our economy in the military. It'd have massive effects on our all the electronics that we all use. I think that the downstream effects of China or Russia expanding and taking up a power vacuum that would be left by the United States just withdrawing, I think that has significant downstream outcomes that first of all, you can't actually predict.
Yeah.
And also the obvious ones would be significantly bad for the U.S. economy and for the average American in the U.S.
We're about a half an hour away from the Trump address, but we were talking quite a bit about, Trump's administration being Democrats and liberals moving and left going crazy. So I was reminded of this video. We're going to do a special segment here just because I pulled it up and I think it's hilarious. This is a video from 2008, I believe. It's called Prop 8, the musical. Many of you may have seen. It's got 1.2 million views on. Oh, it's 15 years ago, so it's probably. I'm pretty sure it's 2008 because Prop 8 was in 2008. So this is the liberal worldview 15 years ago, and it's only 3 minutes long. I'm not going to play the full thing. Well, I mean, we'll just play it, and then we'll talk about where Democrats were back then, what they claimed, without burying the lead. Basically, you have that meme where it says, if we pass gay marriage, if we enact these liberal policies, conservatives warned back then that you'd get these creepy books in schools.
Okay.
And Democrats said it was not true, it was never going to happen. And now here we are. So let's play some of this real quick so you guys get the context.
With that Jack Black and Jussie Riley, too.
Sure. Yep, absolutely.
It's a brand new bright Obama day. What a time to be black, a girl, or gay. No, nothing could go wrong. So join us in this song of happy days for the gays. Nothing can go wrong.
Look, nobody's watching. It's time to spread some hate and put it in the Constitution.
Now, how?
Proposition 8.
Proposition 8. Great! People listen to our plea. They'll teach kids about
Sodomy.
So just right there, right away.
Yeah.
It's important context to what the liberals were saying back then and how they were lying. It's really fascinating, right? There's a little bit more. Listen to how they respond.
That wasn't right. That's a lie. But it worked, so we don't care.
So it wasn't a lie, and it didn't work
Right.
because they still got. Well, I think it did. Prop 8 pass, or was it defeated? It's been a long time.
I think it was defeated, and then
Yeah.
didn't the Supreme Court come in or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was in California, right? California
yeah.
voted a very, very large margin against Prop 8.
Right.
And then the Supreme Court of California came in and said, no, you can't. So it literally went against the will of the people of California.
I just really want to screen grab that caption where it says, "That's a lie," because here we are now dealing with the fallout of how there it is. That wasn't right. That's a lie, and it's literally what happened. And this is a big component of the culture war. And you know, I was thinking about Obama. Voting for him, what he was supposed to bring about. Race relations got worse under Obama. DEI's rapid expansion, further exacerbating tensions between various races. They were wrong about everything that they claimed conservatives were lying about. And now here we are. Donald Trump ends up winning as a Republican with Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., Elon Musk, many others who were former Democrats who largely believed this BS.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, what ended up happening is they put these creepy books in schools. They started having men compete against women. And no matter what you say, Democrats keep defending it, despite the fact polling shows only around 18% approval for males competing against females in sports.
Teaching
Democrats
about
won't.
sodomy is actually the low
Yeah.
low stuff. Like, yeah, well, you know, man, that's
It almost seems
like
reasonable
that's
at
isn't it
this point
quaint
compared to the rest of the
Yeah, isn't it
agenda.
quaint
Yeah.
that they were like teaching about sodomy? No, what they're going to do is they're going to teach your kid to chop their genitals off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but could
And
you
scat.
imagine
And-
if they
and
said that
grinder with
back
the
then?
12-year-old.
They'd be like, okay, please stop. You're nuts.
Look,
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Bill Maher and I forget what his name is.
John Lovett.
No, Bill Maher had the conservative guy Prager. Dennis Prager was on.
Oh, right.
Dennis Prager was like they're teaching.
They're putting tampons in the men's bathroom.
They're teaching that boys can menstruate, and Bill Maher and the whole Democrat, the whole panel was like,
Yeah.
And
you're so silly.
You're so silly.
that
You're so
story,
crazy. Yeah.
that story at the time on Bill Maher's Real Time, and this is my biggest problem with Real Time. It is I don't know why people go on that show, and I think it's because we have an addiction to the past. This is why our politicians are aging. Young people don't step up. Stop glamorizing. Look, with all due respect to Bill Maher, I'm not trying to be a dick, but Real Time doesn't have the ratings. It's an old show, but people, it's been around for 20 years. It's the show. I remember it, and they don't realize. When Prager went on that show and said they're putting tampons in the boys' bathroom, Bill Maher said, oh, that's for their girlfriends. He said, no, they're saying men can menstruate. Everybody laughed. That show happened 3 years after the culture war issue about tampons in the men's room. 3 years. So if you look at the initial reporting from all the prominent progressive outlets and corporate news outlets on the issue of tampons in the men's room, That happened, I think it was like 2015, and the Prager episode was 2018. Bill Maher didn't even know about a major story that was in all of the press 3 years prior. But people keep going on shows like this. And it's because of name and brand recognition. It's brilliant. It's masterful.
Dude, we had a vice president and a nominee or presidential nominee with Tim Walz, who actually put them in his schools and boys, and it was proud of that. And the whole Democratic Party loved that fact.
And
so it's like mainstream on their side.
And now, Bill Maher was having a conversation with the guy from Pod Save America, and he said the Democrats have to get off this gender issue, and they won't do it.
No way.
And Bill Maher was like, how many voters are you? Remember that bit Bill Maher did? Like, I got to give him respect because he's got a lot of good ones on this. He said Democrats are defending the right of transgender people of color to be in the prison where for which they identify their sex. He's like, why are they courting the votes of 432 people? Like, this is such a niche issue. It doesn't affect their voter block in any way. The argument they come up with is because we believe in rights for everybody. And it's like, fine, but that's a weird political stance to take where you know you're going to lose and then defend nobody's rights.
I hope they keep doing it forever. Just keep doing it, Democrats. Don't stop.
I mean, maybe that's the real deep state plan. Democrats go insane so that Republicans win and then Republicans become the single party authoritarian government.
Count me in.
Well, I guess.
I mean, like,
I'm kidding, though, by the way.
we do live in a leftist milieu, and it is really bad that to try to do anything right of center gets you plastered as a a Nazi or a fascist or whatever.
Yeah.
But if that keeps up, you're going to have more, because right now young people are not afraid of the word fascist anymore. Like Gen Z,
there's a pretty long list of words they're not afraid of.
They don't
were
care.
always get you canceled words, and they say them for fun now.
Yeah, they're like
it's fun. Yeah, I have nephews who
Well, it's
are
the
young
new punk
20-year-old
rock,
men.
right? It's the the new punk rock.
Here's
to
a
say
dude.
You're right.
say
No,
the thing.
it's actually pretty wild. California voted that they literally voted in 2008 that marriage was only valid if it was between a man and a woman.
And the Supreme Court
Of this state,
overruled they
About
overruled their
democracy.
democracy.
How come? Yeah,
But it was
all
California
this-
Supreme Court. Just to get it right, it's California Supreme Court said that.
Yes.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, yeah, it was the California
Yeah.
Supreme Court. But it's like when, Elon Musk gets hired to do Doge, they're like unelected officials, right? But it's never applied evenly. They always just make up the rules as they go, and whatever is politically expedient is just what they go with.
So it was in 2024. Finally, they repealed Proposition 8.
Oh, good.
Isn't that crazy? It's been so long, but only now they finally got rid of it. Yeah. California was very much like traditional marriage. And at the time, Obama opposed gay marriage, and Hillary Clinton opposed gay marriage in 2016.
Yeah,
The really far left stuff is not popular. It's just not. You see the way that people are reacting to like men and women's bathrooms, the idea that gender's a social construct and it doesn't matter, your sex doesn't matter and you can actually become the other sex. Like all that stuff, normal people reject it totally. And the people that don't, the only reason they don't is because they're afraid of the consequences.
So
is bad.
you all may have heard.
Yes.
I had a kid recently.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, apparently nobody knew.
Congratulations.
And I was in the maternity ward and was postpartum is what it's called, right? So it's like two different. There's like labor and postpartum, and not a single instance of gender ideology was anywhere.
Yay!
On the walls, and this is Loudoun County, right? This is like the heart of the deep state. On the walls were like they had big things saying it's a boy, girl. Like on the walls in every room, they could write boy or girl. Aww. All the forms said boy or girl. Like there was not an instance anywhere of gender ideology. I asked one of the nurses, I was like, you ever get anybody in here who says like, don't gender my baby or anything? And they were like, no, never. Not once. And
Nobody's in there calling it their they-be.
Nope.
This is my they-be.
Never.
You didn't have
what I was told.
No men gave birth in
Nope.
that place?
They said we never see anything like that. And they were like, I don't know, like I've heard stuff about it, but we've never seen anything like that. Like every day women are coming in and they're having children and it's just like a normal couple. The woman gives birth. They said it's a boy and they're like, yay. And then here's what you got to do. Go home. But I was told by one of the nurses that in college, the college requires them to learn it all the non-binaries. And then as soon as they get into the practice, it's gone. And I'm like, well,
good.
that's for now though.
Sure,
Hopefully with Trump getting in and these moves, it never actually permeates. But I got to tell you, it would be nuts if I went in and they were like, do you
If you had like posters of
believe
like
in gender? And I'd be like, why are you asking?
gender
Well,
reveal at the age of 16 party
Yeah.
on the wall posters.
But that was the joke that I made that I kept insisting to the doctor. He said it was a girl, and I was like, no, they haven't chosen their gender yet.
That's
And then
That is reassuring.
some of my liberal friends got mad, and they were like, that you would use your daughter for the culture war. You can't do that. And I was like, I can joke about whatever.
I can and I will. Wow.
Yeah, I'm making a joke, but get out of here. Come on.
I mean, the whole question of, do you believe in gender? I've said this multiple times on the show. I don't even want to hear the word gender anymore.
Right. I agree.
It's
Sex.
just sex. That's all there is. Everything else is just
It means same
garbage.
thing. It means same thing. I reject this, but gender means something. No, stop. Gender and sex mean the same thing. Go away. All right, we're going to talk about this next story. That's from the New York Times. Canada and China retaliate against U.S. tariffs, which Trudeau derides as dumb. I would play the video for you, but I can't stand hearing Justin Trudeau speak because he sounds like someone's gripping his balls and twisting them. He talks like this. And I'm like, no, stop. So, yeah, they're retaliating. But I don't really care all that much about what Trudeau has to say because it's frail and weak. He did this whole speech where he's like, this one is to the American people. They are screwing you over, your government. And I'm like, quiet, I voted for this.
You sound like you're
Yeah.
doing a South Park character.
That's how
He
he
sounds
talks.
like a South Park.
Yeah. It
Sounds like the Canadians from South Park.
Trudeau sounds like someone's, got him by the balls, and he's like. So anyway, here's a story that I actually think is really interesting: is that the Ontario PM has threatened Americans who rely on the Canadian grid with cutting off their electricity.
Scumbag.
Yo, that's interesting because that's going to result in death.
Yeah.
We're talking about like 1.5 million people. You got to estimate there's some elderly and diabetics in there. You can't just cut off their electricity like that. He's saying he's going to do it. This is where we're at with the tariffs. And you had a Warren Buffett. I think it was Buffett, right? He said tariffs are an act of war sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people are getting real salty about their free trade garbage. But at the same time, UAW is backing Trump's tariffs.
Nice.
So let's go. What do you guys think?
So I don't know. The UAW is the United Auto Workers, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, look. Generally, I think tariffs are bad, or I have thought tariffs are bad. When Trump has used them as leverage, it's seemed to work successfully in a few cases. I'm not 100% sure what he's trying to do here, because it seems like what he's trying to do is incentivize American companies to build or incentivize companies to build things in the U.S. And I don't know if that's a smart use of tariffs.
Well, I was reading this earlier, and you can fact check me if we're not sure, but I believe, so Canada has a bunch of tariffs on our stuff, and it's like 45% or something like that on cars. So I could see why the UAW would be in favor of having a bit of a tariff war, because it's what Trump's been saying since 2016 was that it's just very unfair. It's super skewed. It's not really free trade if everybody else is allowed to put tariffs on us, but we're not allowed to put tariffs on them, correct?
Yeah, I mean, that does make sense, but I'm a little, I guess, apprehensive about if it's going to work.
Well, stuff's going to change. I mean, it's not, transition periods sometimes are painful in the short term, but is it smart to just keep going with the status quo when it doesn't make any sense and we're kind of being ripped off and everybody gets to take advantage of the United States? We have to pay for everything. We have to pay for NATO. We have to pay for the UN. Everybody can slap tariffs on us, but if we do it, like, oh, we've got to be really careful. I don't know. I think it's time to.
They did have there was a number of tariffs from Canada in like 2018. There was steel, aluminum, whiskey, toilet paper, maple syrup, yogurt, coffee, prepared maple syrup.
How dare they?
Protectionism, Canada. Protectionism, much. And then dairy and agriculture stuff. But most of the tariffs were actually as a part of ongoing trade war stuff. So right now, Canada's got a tariff on U.S. orange juice, peanut butter, wine, spirits, beer, coffee. I guess Cass Brew can't be selling to Canadians anymore.
Hey.
Appliances, apparel and footwear, motorcycles, cosmetics, certain pulp and paper products. Well, it's going to affect people like individually, and that does suck. I mean, if you own a paper company and you're like, uh-oh, we're losing Canadian customers, I understand it's bad. In the big picture of the United States, no more freebies, Canada. No more freebies.
I just think that he's an Ontario Premier, Doug Ford. That's his name, Doug Ford. He said, he literally said,
He said, "Where's the coke at?" Right?
he probably did, but he said if they want to annihilate Ontario, I will do everything, including cut off their energy with a smile on my face. So he wants to cut off the energy with a smile on his face. This guy sounds like a terrible, I'm not going to swear, terrible, disgusting human being to cut off energy with a smile on his face because he has some kind of make-believe beef with Donald Trump.
That's
F that guy.
that is like the point of this. This is all, we're going to do this because we don't like Donald Trump. This is all about personal grievance with Donald Trump.
Well, I think all these entrenched, like this power structure is so entrenched, and the people who are getting so much out of it, of course they don't want to change, and of course they're going to fight back tooth and nail because you're taking away their little grift here that they have going on. Or, we all know that members of Congress are making inordinate amounts of money compared to what their salary is supposed to be. This power structure is old, and all these people are, in behind closed doors. They're all on the same team, and they're all getting the deal. And Trump's kind of coming in and going, I don't think so.
The infrastructure that's been built over the past 20 or 30 years has been to grow the Canadian and Mexican economies to stabilize the North American economic bloc. So what you end up with is, go back to the 90s, and it was like $3 to $4 for a Canadian to $1 US. And pesos were worse than that. Right. Now it's getting closer to comparable. Pesos are still a little bad, but Canadian dollars are now close to the US dollar. Because what happened is, through these free trade deals, we gave up all of our manufacturing base and raw materials to Canada. We get lumber from Canada. We have trees. We can make regrowth forests and grow our own trees. And so he has the nerve to come out and say that we're going to lose access to these important goods. And I'm like, well, we only lost access because scumbags in our government sold out the American working class, outsourcing all of these jobs. Outsourcing has been a big scandal the entire time, and they hoped you just die, roll over, and forget about it. People retired, they lost their jobs, and now Canada's mad because they're going to go back to where they were. Right. They're a very small economy. They should not be as big as they are, but we give them our labor instead of doing exactly. Yeah. No more freebies.
It's a little bit personal for me. Growing up in a small rural town in Michigan in the 80s and 90s, I watched my hometown die as a result of NAFTA. Our whole economy was it was farmland, and then in the town we had a GM plant that made parts. And when they passed NAFTA, it closed down. The whole town started to die off. The people who are still there were there because they're stuck. They were too poor to get out. And so drugs come in and crime comes in. It just destroyed people's lives.
I saw this video where they put Chris Farley and David Spade from Tommy Boy into Shark Tank.
I saw that.
Saw that one?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
And it's like they're trying to sell the brake pads to the sharks, and the sharks don't want it.
Yeah.
I got an idea, okay? Maybe someone out there can do this. You need to take scenes from Tommy Boy. For those of you know what Tommy Boy is, right?
Yeah.
Of course, we're all old
Who
here.
doesn't? We're all Americans.
If you don't, Chris Farley, David Spade in the 90s, and they have to go. So Chris Farley's dad dies, and he's this great salesman for the Callahan Auto Parts.
He's paint shit.
Yes, right. The whole town relies on this one auto factory. All the jobs are there, and if that plant closes, the town will collapse. Mm-hmm. Chris Farley's dad dies. He's Tommy. So he goes off trying to sell brake pads so that he can get enough orders to keep the plant open. And he struggles and learns along the way, whatever. Someone needs to go in and use AI to change it to NAFTA and Bill Clinton signing a deal and then the plant closing down and reopening in Mexico with a bunch of just like outsourced labor. And be like, there you go, Tommy Boy. So here's the edit I'd like to see. He succeeds in selling the brake pads. They go, yay. And then the next year, he looks at it. He's like, everyone's canceled on us. Why? Or how about this? He goes to sell, and instead of any of these joke scenes where he tries to convince them, they say, why buy from you when I can buy from Mexico for $1 less? Ooh. Buy. And then the plant goes out of business. Everyone loses their job. And the final scene is everybody's homeless.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's cold. And it's cold up in Canada. You need homes. You need walls. So you better do right by us.
I mean, like I said, I've got some people that are actually tweeting at me to the list of the things that are under tariffed or that are tariffed by Canada, and it looks fairly egregious. 270% for milk, I think it was. Milk is Canada imposes tariffs on U.S. goods. Dairy products, milk 270%, cheese 245, butter 298, poultry 238, eggs 163, barley 160, wheat 94, sugar 265, peanut butter 295, rice 150, vegetables 100%, fish products 100%, lumber 20, shoes 30. If this is true, now again, this is just someone sent this on Twitter, so it could be wrong. I could be, someone could be, making a joke out of me or whatever. But I mean, if that's the case,
no,
I don't see how Canada's in any position to actually behave as
In
if
other
there's.
words, Phil, they don't have the cards.
Yeah.
They don't have the cards.
that's
They
pretty.
don't
good.
have any cards. We've got the cards.
Gotta use the hands. You don't
Yeah,
have the
she was
card.
doing it.
Oh yeah, they grow peanuts up there. It's like protectionists. Check out this clip from Brian Cranston. It says, "Scenes from Ontario, Canada, making America great again by making the world hate us and not buy from us. This is American liquor produced in red states that has been ordered to be taken off the shelves across Ontario." I don't think he realizes. I laughed my ass off when I saw this video. Watch.
I've already paid for it, you idiots.
Look. So it's just there comes all. What brand is that? Can you tell? Is that Bullet?
It doesn't hurt.
whiskey?
It doesn't hurt. The
I was like,
company
dude,
That stuff
there's
is
no tariff on it.
Yeah.
You have it
Yeah.
already. You can sell it. They're like, oh yeah, we'll show you. We'll take all the stuff we own and get rid of it. And it's like, okay, that doesn't faze me.
already. Yeah.
They sell it to you twice.
We're gonna lose money.
Just
You
for
know-
spite?
They're-
Like, was it just
right.
for
Yeah.
spite?
I'm gonna lose
For
look
the
at this.
video,
What is that one?
It's totally all for spite. That's the point. Like, this is all. None of this is actually doing anything. This is all performative, and it's all for spite. And if the tariff issue is settled in 3 days, the company that bought those is out the booze. They have to buy more of the booze because the tariffs are gone, and their customers are going to come in and be like, "Yeah, I like that. Where is it? How come I can't get it anymore?" Well, the whole tariff, and then be like, "The tariff thing's over, man. Like, that stopped. Why?"
I think
Or they
that
gotta-
I think this would work. I think that Trump's tariff war would work, and I think it would work so well. It'd be the best tariff war you've ever seen. And the reason they're so screaming, they're doing the is because it will work. And then he's gonna look awesome, and they're gonna be blown out.
Well, I mean, of course, I do hope that it works because I want to see good things happen to the U.S.
So we right now for the Trump joint address to the joint session of Congress, they are just introducing, I believe, the Supreme Court justices. They're coming in to take their seats. Not a whole lot right now going on. I believe the White House is scheduled for 9:10 p.m. And previous speeches by Trump have been estimated around 80 minutes. So then we will just sit here and stare at the screen and enjoy ourselves. But be careful, don't fall asleep. I know that Donald Trump has a soothing voice, which may lull you into a beautiful and comfortable rest.
What was that? What did you say?
I said, be careful not to fall asleep, because I know Trump has a beautiful voice, which will lull you into a
It's the most
peaceful
beautiful.
rest.
Some people
When I-
say
when-
probably it's the best voice you've ever heard.
I just have a long. I basically use the AI voice generator to have Donald Trump read me Harry Potter to sleep every night. So I just put on my headphones. You're a wizard, Harry. Hagrid said, and Harry was like, "Whoa." I'm kidding. I don't do that. I actually, you know what? As an aside, as we wait for Trump, so I have this thing called a sleep sanity.
Yep.
And as you know, Phil knows, deep sleep is the most important for muscle regeneration.
Yep.
And if you keep waking up and you're not getting your deep sleep, you're going to be fatigued, your muscles ain't going to be working right. So I've been trying to figure out how to get the most deep sleep I can. So I bought this thing, it's a headband, you put it on, and you Bluetooth it, it's got a program that as you're going to bed, orange lights light up around the visor, and the visor dims, so that stimulates melatonin production, and then you can have it play white noise. But it only plays the white noise for like 20 minutes. So I've been trying it, it really did improve my sleep, but then the other day, it turns off after 20 minutes, so if you're not already asleep or you wake up, it's off. And then I'm like, okay, so what I did was, it's a Bluetooth headset, so I just turned on 10 hours of thunderstorms, put it to max volume. Yeah, it worked. I got 2 hours of deep sleep.
Usually we
That's
do
good.
we do a white noise from Spotify has like a white noise thing that just goes
Yeah.
all night long.
What what kind of white noise? Have you heard of green noise?
I've heard
It's a
that there are
commercial.
I've
for
got
it.
one I've got an app that's got like brown noise, violet noise,
Brown?
white noise. Yeah.
I'm not
I've
into
seen the
that. I don't know
TikTok
what that's
videos
suspicious.
about that.
brown noise.
I don't
is
put that one
dangerous.
on, but
Brown noise.
you know what I always do? I just end up putting on a fan. I'm old
Yeah.
school, I guess. Just put
Fans
on a
do
fan.
work. Fans do work.
I just sleep. I don't need noise.
I have
But you may not.
terrible
But
tinnitus.
see, here's the thing, right? Oh yeah, I mean Phil, because you've been doing music for so long.
Oh, that's fair.
Here's the thing, though. You might be getting really bad sleep and not realize it. And-
Oh, I wake up all the effing freaking time.
Yeah, try
Right.
some white noise.
So I got my watch that tracks it. I got my bed. I got the Sleep 8 bed that Luke recommended,
Okay.
and it tracks. Like the Sleep 8 bed is crazy. It shows the whole night. I don't know how it does it. It's amazing. And it's like, here's when you woke up. Here's when you fell asleep.
Yep.
Here's when you were in REM. Here's where light sleep. Here's deep sleep. It tracks it all.
Mine does that, and it does heart rate and
take a note.
respiratory rate
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah.
Your watch or your bed?
My watch.
Oh yeah, my bed does it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's weird.
Damn.
And it also,
Jinx.
you know what's crazy? So Luke recommended this bed to me a while ago because it's got this little machine. You put water in it, and then it can use the water to cool and heat
Oh,
the
yeah,
bed.
Yeah, I've
That's
seen
sick.
those.
Yeah, it's super cool. And I've been sleeping on this for so long, I totally forgot what it was like to wake up too hot.
Dude.
And so then, the
Yeah.
past weekend, I fell asleep on the couch, like watching movies or whatever. I woke up super hot, and then I had to like throw the blanket off and be like, "Whoa, I haven't experienced that in so long," because the bed cools as you're getting too hot, so you don't wake up. It's crazy. Super awesome.
That sounds awesome. Maybe it might be a Christmas gift to all the employees for folks who sleep hot. Just throwing it out there.
$3,000 sleep.
Oh, is that what it
mattress.
is? Hold on.
I think the mattress covers a couple $100. I hope you all enjoying the patter as we currently wait for Trump to come to the.
You have expectations, Tim, and everyone.
I think that Trump is going to walk up. He's going to look at everybody, and then he's going to have this bright holy glow as he levitates in front of everybody, and then he casts a beam of light over all of the evildoers, and they instantly get vaporized and.
I think he's going to be...
All the demons.
I think he's going to be bold, and he's going to go for it because of what just happened with Zelensky. I think he's just done taking crap, and he's just going to... Because it's a hostile room, right? I mean, not fully, but at least half the room, if not more.
Do you think they're gonna wiggle the egg cartons like they said they were?
I hope so.
Heard them, like,
I hope
their
I hope
peppers.
they...
Remember,
I hope they wear their white suits and wiggle their stupid egg cartons.
remember,
Be like, look, no eggs. They got no. It'll be the group of the women.
love
What do
it.
they call them? The squad.
yeah.
And they really don't have eggs because they're like, past their prime, and then we can make fun of them for having
Remember
no eggs.
how the left and the Democrats behaved when someone called Barack Obama a liar? That was big news, and it was such a break of decorum, et cetera, et cetera. Now they're literally openly talking about heckling the president because like with props and everything.
I think Elon will come in
Echoing
and
the
start doing his weird tism dance.
He's gonna.
Clap.
His heart's going to come out to
there.
everyone. His heart's out to everyone.
He's gonna come in and rism with the tism in front of
He is
everybody.
there.
Rism with the tism. All right, there we go.
A new song.
I don't think Elon's actually autistic.
I don't either. He's just when he is a little bit awkward. That's what everybody likes to say. And I think that Gen Z just calls any slight awkwardness autism now.
He said that
I
he's on
agree.
the spectrum. He said that he's on
Yeah,
the
but
spectrum.
but
What's
but
written
so-
all? Okay, what's she got all over her stupid pink suit?
14th Amendment.
Oh God, that's Maisie Hirono. She's
the
literally
people.
she's about as bad as you can get. She's just absolutely awful.
I would say that she is dumb as a box of rocks, but I don't want to insult rocks.
Is she as dumb as Maxine Waters?
Whoa,
oh, yeah.
whoa.
Okay, I was
Whoa.
just checking.
They're
That
on
was
the
over the line.
they're
Trying to see
right
what was
We're
on
gonna
one end
have
of the
to, like,
spectrum.
neck and neck, Rachel. Neck and
Really?
neck. There,
Ugh.
she's
That's rough.
absolutely. Did you know that Maxine Waters is alleged to have funneled $1 million to her daughter through campaign funding?
I completely believe that.
The a lot-
There's
so
there can't be any
there's
other
Melania.
reason for her to be there.
So a lot of the news that we didn't get to today, Lee Zeldin uncovering
He looks amazing.
EPA schemes. The,
Oh, yeah?
Biden,
Looks
the Biden administration was sending millions of dollars to fake nonprofits.
Shocker.
Nonprofits that had only like $100 in the books were getting millions of dollars. Doge found a child shelter that was completely empty, getting $18 million per month.
What? Is that the one I heard like $1 billion or like $1 billion a year, and nobody and there was an empty facility?
Yep. All right, we got Melania.
Melania Trump is
She
hot.
looks amazing.
Yeah, she is.
She's beautiful.
She's always got great clothes on.
I love her.
Trump should be arriving any minute.
Hey, there's Riley Goods right there hanging out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was just there.
Mr. President's Cabinet.
Hey, let's go.
Who's that lady?
Marco Rubio.
Mr. Bassett. There's that Seth.
I know most of the cabinets. I've never known all the cabinets before this year.
Pam Bondi. It's still crazy when you hear that Pam Bondi's like 60 years old.
Yes.
Like
Unreal.
yeah.
Both touches are beautiful, man.
Is that you think it's work?
100%. Yeah. It's not possible in human nature.
I like to believe in the power of fitness.
It helps.
Maybe she eats that Power Beats or whatever that Dana Lash sells.
Maybe.
RFK, like, he does look like he's wearing a human mask.
It does.
Like there's
The worm has taken over.
Yes, there's an actual
Made by
face
Jim Bob
underneath.
just did a cartoon of him that is so funny. It's so good. Like the drawing is just so perfect. Totally nailed it.
It's hilarious.
It's just slightly.
Oh, look at
crooked.
Schiff.
Yeah.
Oh, Schiff is garbage. It's hilarious that Pete Hegseth is the SecDef. Like, and I back him. I think that he's going to do a good job, and I like the fact that he isn't wasn't a general. I mean, he was, I think he was a major. I love the stuff that he did when he was PTing with the troops. The guys,
Yeah, that was awesome.
The guys
Cool.
like love him.
Yeah.
Like
Respect him.
the average, rank and file military dudes really respect him.
Oh, Zeldin.
Oh no.
Oh, Kirsty Nome took off the plate carrier.
Now
Good
she-
job.
Now she's done way too much.
Yeah.
She's done way too. You look at a picture of her from 10 years ago, it doesn't even look like the same person. And then when she was doing the fully glammed out promo videos in the outfits, I was like,
She did another one just yesterday. I saw a picture of her like
Homeland
she's
Security
all
Barbie.
done up with a carrier. Like
yeah.
Nice beanie on.
I was
everybody.
posting to X, I was like,
We,
Homeland Security Barbie comes with the border security playset.
We are getting ready for the arrival of President Donald Trump, so smash that like button if you could. Comment. Get involved, be active. Don't just be a passive listener. Join in the fun and comments and share the show right now as Donald Trump is about to speak. And we're going to hear what he has to say about the State of the Union. It's not a State of the Union. It's a joint address to Congress, okay? Or it's an address to Congress in joint session.
It's going to be a state of the world, basically.
Yeah.
And then I think we're actually gonna switch to the official White House player, which is about to start when it does. But for now, we have this from WFAA. It's just people coming in and schmoozing. RFK Juniors are looking around kind of awkwardly.
Is he actually now pushing the MMR vaccine
He certainly
or
is.
not? He is.
He issued an op-ed in Fox News saying, "Guys, you need to get vaccinated." I've been telling people they were lying about him being anti-vax. He's always been moderate. Like we interviewed the guy and he was like, "Vaccines are great. We got to have proper testing on all of these things. We shouldn't rush things out." And I was like, "Okay." And then the media was like, "He hates and wants to get rid of vaccines." And I'm like, "That's not going to happen." He is now, as HHS secretary, telling people, "Please get vaccinated."
Look, and even if he's like, oh, you shouldn't get these, or I don't like these, or whatever, he's not gonna like make vaccines illegal.
Right,
Like,
right.
You can still go ahead and get all the vaccines you want. Like it's literally just people are going to be given the option. There's not going to be,
I do hope he bans pharmaceutical commercials, though. But
That
I
would
have.
be great.
However, that Fanapt commercial. Have you ever seen that one? I love that commercial. It's on Fox News.
I don't think
It's like an anime commercial.
that's the only ads they have now in
Oh, I know. It's all drugs.
pharmaceutical ads.
Like GLP-1 or whatever. But the Fanapt one is this like German woman, I guess, and it's like the commercial. I love it so much. It's this blonde woman who like goes to her job and she sees like an elderly couple laughing and she smiles, and then like she's closing up shop and her boyfriend shows up but she lost her key or something, and the whole time this weird like hokey little family friendly thing is going on. It's like Fanapt is for people who are suffering bipolar disorder and it may cause sudden stroke or death. It prolongs the QT interview, which has been associated with heart arrhythmia and sudden death. And then it's listing all of these insane side effects about how it will literally, it may, and it's been associated with literally killing people. And then like it's just like some woman is smiling, and
Ladies
the guy's like,
just
oh, they're hugging, and
I love the herpes and the AIDS
Excuse me?
medication.
She loves.
I love herpes and AIDS. Everyone knows. The commercials for those it's just like people having the time of their life with herpes, right? It's like they're on this awesome date and they're having a
Riding
picnic.
bikes on the beach.
Everything is hilarious. They're just laughing the whole time, smiling, and it's like, ask your doctor if Valtrex is right for you. It's
I
like,
haven't had an outbreak in 3 weeks. Yay.
But there's so the funny thing is, like, look, man, I don't know what it's like to have bipolar 1 disorder or whatever. I'm not going to rag on that. Maybe people really are like, I would risk death to get a medication for this. That's fine. I just think it's really funny that the side effects are, it's like it will prolong the QT interval, which is associated with heart arrhythmia and sudden death, or elderly are at increased risk of death and stroke. And then I'm just like, geez, man. But I laugh when I see that, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Look, if you get prescribed the medicine, you need it. That's fine. But was it GLP-1 or what is it?
GLP-1s.
It's like these commercials of morbidly obese people. And here's the craziest thing to me about Ozempic and stuff. So you mean to tell me you have the willpower to inject yourself with a drug every day, but not the willpower to not eat that extra scoop of ice cream? That's nuts to me.
So much easier to put a needle in your body than to.
I disagree. That's crazy to me.
aren't those once a week?
Are they once a week?
I think they're once a week.
Either way, like
I don't know.
injecting yourself instead of just being like, maybe I won't eat.
They
Hey, look, let me tell you. Let me give you a shot. All right. You're at a restaurant and somebody says, you want a slice of pizza? No.
No is not an option, bro.
Save myself some money there.
No, they can't say no, but they can say yes to a shot.
I mean, when people are handing you Taco Bell left and right, that I understand. Because if somebody came up and offered me a cheesy gordita crunch right now, I'm taking it. There's no to that.
there are, in my opinion, there are legitimate times where like where GLP-1s and stuff like that are good. It's definitely not good for everybody, and it's definitely not necessary for people that are looking to lose 15, 20 pounds.
Dude, like, not all, but a lot of depression, just go for a walk.
Yeah.
It's not a joke.
No
The
help.
exercise will help fix that problem. Go for it, like start exercising. But you've got all these people who are very sick and overweight, and they're like, I don't know what's wrong with me, I need drugs. And it's like, dude, it's because you're eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch by the full box every breakfast, and you don't exercise at all. So your hormones are out of whack. You're full of carbohydrates with no proteins.
Yep.
Eat a steak, have some broccoli, or maybe a chicken breast if you don't want to do the red meat, and just start walking.
Yeah.
That first of all, talk to your doctor, because some people have like serious issues. Maybe you do need
Some of
medication.
them get so far gone down that road that they need significant help getting back to the point where they can even do physical activity, which is pretty horrible. But
I hope he bans those commercials, man.
If you need help, folks, we have there's Timcast Fitcast IRL on Twitter. So join Fitcast IRL on Twitter.
In the
and there's-
Discord server.
Yep.
In the Discord as well.
Yeah, so if you join, go to timcast.com.
Runs it.
Go to timcast.com, join us, get in the Discord server.
Yeah.
There is a fitness
Yeah.
room on our chat server where if you come in and say, I'm overweight, I eat poorly, what do I do? Everyone's going to start clapping and cheering, being like, we want to help you.
Yes.
It is the greatest feeling in the world when someone comes to you and says, hey, you're good at this, tell me how to do it. It validates all of your hard work. That's why people love teaching others.
Yep. I mean, you get that in the gym generally too, but that's why if you're looking for help to get motivation to go to the gym, the Fitcast IRL, the rooms in the Discord are great.
There's nothing like watching
Trump's late.
someone getting better and expanding and improving themselves and making themselves healthy. Like, who does not love seeing that? Unless
Yeah, I love watching the videos where it's like a guy's fat and then like he's like 3 months later.
Oh
he's
yeah,
ripped.
dude, forget about it.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, man. Protein.
hell
Yeah.
yeah.
That's right.
For a long, I've been doing the whole protein and weightlifting thing since 2008, and it's not. I don't look like some fitness model or anything, but it literally has gotten me through the worst things I've been through in
Need
life.
juice for that.
Better than therapy, like way better.
Like the real juice?
No, like steroids.
You want
if you want
me
to
up?
I meant the real
Did you
juice.
hook me up, Phil? Okay.
no, but the whole if you like people that are on stage for fitness and
Oh
stuff,
yes,
they're all on.
Yeah,
it?
I know.
Is Trump here?
Is HGH different?
Who's this guy?
Yes, HGH is not
Mr.
geared.
Speaker,
Right,
the
I know, I understand
President
that
of
part.
the United States.
Thank you.
Let's go. All right, let's see if we can. Yep, still White House.
Big
is
D.
up. Okay, can we turn that down? president has arrived.
Speaking of eating healthy.
All right. Oh, whoa, my bad. We're switching over to the White House player. So it looks like the White House player looks crusty. Yeah, the resolution is much worse. But it's the official White House feed, so maybe it'll improve in a second. Otherwise, we got to switch back, I guess. Is it very quiet?
It looks like it's clearing up a little bit.
Seems very quiet.
Yeah, it does.
There's Bobert. It's a who's who in the political world. Look at all those
There's
Democrats.
Burchett, too.
Who's that Wendy Adams looking lady down there by Mazie Hirono?
I have no idea.
Wendy Williams.
Wendy Adams.
Okay.
That might not be amazing.
Wednesday,
I
sorry,
might be wrong.
Wednesday Adams. Wednesday, Wendy.
You know what? I like Trump's hair today. It's extra. I'm digging it.
Isn't it always the same?
It's the same, but it varies. Look at how like silvery and it glows like a halo.
He's looking good. Look at him.
Yeah, it looks nice.
He's lost weight.
Put down the.
Remember, didn't he say he weighed 215?
He lied.
Oh, dude, of course he did. He's 6'5", isn't he? Or 6'3"?
I think he's like 6'3".
Yeah.
6'3", 6'4".
He's 6'3", and I'm like, that dude is not 215. Nobody believed it. Is that Mace?
It looks like.
Yep, anti-Mace. Look at Schiff right
There's
there.
our buddy Schiffy.
Come on, shake Schiff's hand.
You should give him remember the bean and the jack in the back of the head growing up? Give him a little bean.
I know what he's thinking because
Look at the glorious swoop.
Nancy Mason.
I've been at-
very single. Going
I've been at
for that
events where you're walking through and there's like some guy you don't want to talk to because you hate and you're just like, I'm gonna look the other way. Keep facing to the right. Act like I didn't see him.
hug. None of the Democrats even want to look.
Schumer scooping him out side-eyed.
Ugh, shoot.
Hey, there we go. It was on auto. It's still a crummy resolution, to be honest.
Yeah.
Look at Schumer.
Can write
Don't
that.
look up, Schumer. Just don't move, otherwise Trump can't see motion. I mean, Trump can. He can't. He can only see motion.
He has no peripheral.
He's like a T-Rex.
Yeah, we're good, man. All right. Okay, well, it's going to be a late night.
It's all right.
So the White House had it scheduled for 9:10. The media reported at 9 o'clock. And now here we are, it's 9:16, and we are going to be blessed by the words of this humble leader. Humble.
The most humble ever.
Everyone says so.
Everyone.
I'm gonna say the most humble ever.
Some say. At least that's what I've been told.
Probably, maybe.
There are people that
Probably,
have,
maybe.
there are people that have a problem with him talking to the Supreme Court justices. You can hear him complaining now.
Every time I see Brett Kavanaugh's face in my head, I just hear, I like beer.
Oh, is that? Who is that? Retiree? I can't tell which.
I'm not sure.
I think that's one of the retired ones. I don't know. The world didn't exist prior to 2016. Like everything came into existence the moment Trump was elected.
Here we go.
USA.
Chance of going. USA.
All the Democrats are like,
You should get him to start chanting.
Yeah, yeah.
Fight, fight.
All right. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to watch the president give his speech. Smash the like button, share the show, get everybody in the country to listen to Trump. Oh, he's got his phone number
What a
available for you.
G.
ex-President Trump.
Donate today.
What if he's like answering texts as he's giving the speech? And 1 second, he's like, John said, what's up? Yo, what's up, John? Isn't Vance a great VP? That's crazy. Like most of the VPs throughout my life have just been nothing.
I have to say he has exceeded my expectations.
Absolutely.
He talks so well. And with aggression. I mean, assertiveness, which I love.
Did you see the meme of emo JD Vance? And it says,
Yeah.
I chime in with a haven't you people ever heard of the goddamn war?
And they think that's a diss on him, but we love it.
So great.
Yeah.
I said that to my kids and they had the nerve to tell me it wasn't funny. I was like, you're grounded.
Your kids are wrong. And also, that song's a great song.
Yeah. All right. Let's roll. Yeah, that clapping right in the microphone. How about that? Right? They're clapping right in the microphone. Oh, I think it's Mike Johnson.
Come on, Don.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike. It was Mike Johnson clapping right into his microphone.
Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, the First Lady of the United States.
Yeah. Okay.
She might be the hottest first lady ever.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Easy.
What about Michelle?
Bro.
Members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back.
It's so dumb. All the Democrats are just sitting there grim-faced. No, it's not.
Melania's only 55.
Really?
Wow.
Only 5 years older than me. She was born in 1970, April of 1970.
He's only 10 years older than me.
6 weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started.
Let's go.
Real big segment.
Thank you. I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before. The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it.
I love him.
The presidential election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes.
Mandatory kissing his own butt. He was the greatest ever.
The best.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
Oh.
Already, huh?
Oh, look. Do you see him look at him?
Yeah, he can really look side glare.
He's going to kick him out.
Look at that. Look, what's his face?
Sit down, Kane.
Kane. What's his name?
Kane McGee?
No.
Oh,
I'm forgetting his name. Come on.
I can't see the back of his head. Those lights are-
Sergeant of Arms should start taking Congress people out if they're going to
And won
interrupt.
counties in
I
our
like it, Phil.
country.
I like it.
2,700 to 525 on a map that reads almost completely red for
It did.
Republican.
He pointed to the Democrats.
Now, for the first time in modern
guys coming into
history,
him.
more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction then the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever.
Al Green.
Al Green.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
Oh, is that the guy that's going to do the impeachment? Yeah.
He's waving his cane at Trump.
Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded.
Mr. President.
A 41-point jump.
These people really, they're going to start problems. Come on now.
This is crazy.
Members
never
are
seen this.
directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions.
Wow.
That's your warning.
Whoa! Call the sergeant of arms right now. Get him out.
Has this happened?
Never.
Members
No.
are engaging
I've
in
never
willful
seen
and
this.
continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the sergeant at arms to restore order to the joint session.
Oh, get him out. Get him out.
Get him out.
What's happening?
You can go to
Nothing
Ukraine.
like this happened in any of his addresses before.
No.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like this.
Never.
Total grandstanding.
Well, the Democrats have nothing.
Right.
Like they have nothing.
No favorability.
All the stuff he's saying.
They're going to throw him out. He wants to get
Yeah, yeah, he does.
It's going to
Wants
look
to
good
make
on
a
TV
Mr. Green,
for
take
their
your seat.
cultists.
Take your seat, sir. Take your seat.
Get him out. Sergeant of arms, remove him.
Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the sergeant at arms to restore
Nice.
order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Hey!
Yeah.
Whoa! This is crazy.
Let's go.
We're not only taking on the world, we're taking on the Dems. Let's go.
Who else wants some? Anybody else?
This is what you wanted, clown shoes.
Yeah.
I did see his shoes earlier. They kind of look weird.
Take your Willy Wonka cane and do a little somersault on the way
Get him out.
Oh, just take him.
Get him out.
We got a speech to give.
This is nuts. I've never seen anything like that happen.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House. Mr. President, you continue.
Thank you.
Wow.
Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it.
Amen.
Thank you.
In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many.
I love this.
He's trying to get Democrats angry.
Good.
They will never make me hate him.
Yeah.
They have earned it too.
And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
Yes.
Wow.
That's a big win.
It was only like 800. Amazing.
Yeah.
And we were always told it wasn't possible.
They lied. From this angle, everything looks great.
They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my 5th such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire
This is actually
nations,
good.
It's so
or
good.
announce the answers to the greatest economy in history,
He's on
or the
spot.
stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter
Wow.
what. Five times I've been up
He's
here.
so on point.
It's very
good.
sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
He's right. Shame on them.
They're cultists. Cults.
Musk steals?
Like what?
What? Clowns.
So
Absolute
Democrats sitting
clowns.
before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
An olive branch. That's nice. It's not gonna work.
He should bring up an issue that Democrats have to agree on, and then say, stand if you agree that this is a good thing, and then when they don't,
Yeah.
Every day, my administration is fighting to deliver the change America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid.
Let's go.
We're no longer their piggy bank.
I terminated the ridiculous Green New Scam. I withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization.
Another huge win.
Yes.
And I also withdrew from the anti-American UN Human Rights Council.
Nice.
I like it.
We ended all of Biden's environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction.
Awesome.
Well, that would be impossible, too, to get to reach that point in 5 years.
To unshackle our economy, I have directed that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations must be eliminated, just like I did in my very successful first term.
I would love to see that.
So
Hopefully that actually does materialize.
another thing Republicans have been promising for my whole lifetime.
And
that's
in
the only
that
thing-
first term, we set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job.
If they get the more regulations they get rid of, the more likely it is that the economy recovers significantly, and you have serious.
And we have ended weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out? Not too good. Not too good.
Yeah.
It was a complete failure by him.
wow, man, this is wild.
I think I called it when I said he was going to come out balls swinging.
I got the back of a pickup truck.
And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back.
It was, it's against, it was the Israeli government, probably.
And 2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America.
Wow, huge.
I just want to say
Gulf of America.
I was bringing that point up a few times before Donald Trump actually did
I
it.
renamed
So
the
it may
Gulf
or may not
of
be
Mexico
my
the
fault.
Gulf of America.
I mean, I said it 4 years ago. I don't know how long. Yeah.
I had to explain to someone this is the
And
North American continent.
likewise, I renamed for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again.
They were telling me, but Mexico has more coastline of it, and I said it's the
Beautiful
North
Alaska.
American continent.
Love
Yeah,
Alaska.
the Gulf of the Americas. It's the Gulf of America.
In South America.
We've
South
ended
America.
the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military.
Thank God.
And our country will be woke no longer.
There we go.
That was good. That was aggressive.
Are they crying yet?
Yeah.
We believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender.
Yes.
Very important.
Amen.
You should be hired based on merit. And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Another great.
You try explaining that line to someone 10 years ago.
I know.
And you know, regular Dems love that too. Like, all my people I know, they know this. They don't know 5,000 genders at all.
I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports.
Yes. Which is another regular middle person.
Now, are the
normal
female
person.
Democrats going to stand up for that?
No.
Of course not.
They were protesting.
They voted against him too.
Yeah, they're stupid.
3 years
They
ago,
are.
Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball
that's the
so
girl that got
hard
hit.
in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side, and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
Let's go.
I didn't know she got hurt that bad.
Yeah, she was partially paralyzed.
Holy moly.
That video went mad viral where she got bam.
She screamed out. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
I want them to show the Democrats. Oh, they stayed seated.
And if you
Yeah, of
really
course.
want
They're
to
never gonna
see
stand up.
numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women.
5 hours?
And it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer.
That can't be real.
What race was that?
I bet.
We had a dude did a triple jump by 8 feet.
Yeah. No, I think the triple jump was way more than that because it's 3 jumps.
Okay.
The long jump, I think, was 8 feet.
That's crazy feet.
What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of
Common
us,
sense revolution.
sweeping the entire
it.
world.
Yeah, it's a good name.
Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. Never. Never going to let that happen.
I agree.
Among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again.
It'll take some time. And I'm okay with that.
Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control. The egg price is out of control. And we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration. Do a good job. A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now.
I've seen a big decrease in gas
I didn't
prices.
know it was that bad. That's insane.
It's like 50 cents.
And frankly, we have never seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency.
I mean, well, what does that mean?
As you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill.
We need Postal and Daniel Turner to take him up to Alaska. Really far up there. Useless.
My administration is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA.
Nice. That's going to go a big way to helping with the whole China problem and making their own batteries.
Well, that's similar to oil for at least 500 plus years.
To further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but we'll be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars. And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, GOGE. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps.
It's so ridiculous.
I love it.
I do too.
You know, he got it from someone on the internet. The name.
Which is headed by Elon Musk,
you wear a
who is
suit.
in the gallery tonight.
So, what's up, Zelensky? He's got a suit.
That's a much better idea. Better to do the salute. A better salute.
Yeah, than his heart going out to us.
Yeah, don't send your heart out to anyone tonight. Elon.
Thank you,
Take it
Elon.
easy.
He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe. They just don't want to admit that. Just listen to some of the appalling waste
Just everybody with
we have
their
already
bottom lip out.
identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is.
I was just about to ask what that
$8
meant.
million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender.
No. Look at that.
This is real.
That's real.
$32 million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique. $20 million for the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams.
Get her.
A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish
I like
fish
the name call out.
monitoring. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City.
Of course.
He's a real estate developer. He's done very well. $250,000 to increase vegan local climate action innovation in Zambia.
Vegan?
$42 million for
Okay.
social and behavior change in Uganda. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia.
This is all money
$47
laundering, by the
million
way.
for
None of this
improving
is
learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. We know what we're doing. We use it ourselves. And $101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education, the most ever paid, nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration, all of these scams, and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was
Look at the
appropriate
bottom.
to
Mice
talk about
transgender,
them.
transgender
They're so
mice.
bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
Nice. Now, why on earth you would not applaud for finding hundreds of billions of dollars in taxpayer fraud? Why would people reelect you?
Just like you said.
Why are you voting for these Democrats who don't want your fraudulent tax
And
money
we've taken back the money
Because it doesn't
and
matter
reduced
what
our
happens,
debt
it's
to fight
only who
inflation
does
and
it.
other things. Taking back a lot of that money. We
How
got
much?
it just in time. This is just the beginning.
Uh-oh.
The Government Accountability Office, a federal government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation.
Wow.
And we are working very hard to stop it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old.
Yeah.
It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119.
I would believe
don't
the
know any of
109
them.
one.
I know some
But
people
after,
that are
I mean, after
rather
the 110.
elderly, but not quite that elderly.
I mean, I'm getting the 100.
3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129.
Okay, well, that one I get.
This doesn't make sense.
3.9 million
The blue
people
zones.
from ages 130 to 139.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
3.5 million people
And
from
people like
ages
Crystal and these
140
leftists are so mad about
to
this.
149. And money is being paid to many of them, and we're searching right now. In fact, Pam, good luck. Good luck. You're going to find it. But a lot of money is paid out to people because it just keeps getting paid, and nobody does, and it really hurts Social Security and hurts our country. 1.3 million people from ages 150 to 159, and over 130,000 people, according to the Social Security databases, are age over 160 years old.
That's like from before
We have
it
a
began.
healthier country than I thought, Bobby.
It's like the movie Dune. Everyone, you need spice to live longer.
So he's just telling the American people that we've been being robbed blind this whole time.
Or just folks have been
Democrats aren't
using
clapping because they're like, oh crap, we've been caught.
Yeah.
their nephew of a nephew pretended to get Social
Including-
Security from the parent.
To finish, 1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229.
Wait,
one
still going?
person between the age of 240 and 249, and one person
What?
is listed at 360 years of age.
Is he a vampire?
More than 100 years older than our country.
It's
But
gold.
we're going to find out where that money's going, and it's not going to be pretty. By slashing all of the fraud, waste, and theft we can find, we will defeat inflation, bring down mortgage rates, lower car payments and grocery prices, protect our seniors, and put more money in the pockets of American families.
If he follows through on this, it's over for Democrats.
He's got to follow through, but yes.
Even 75% fall through would be solid.
And today, interest rates took a beautiful drop, big, beautiful drop. It's about time. And in the near future, I want to do what has not been done in 24 years, balance the federal budget. We're going to balance it.
Wow.
Good luck.
Do it?
I don't know, man. I'm rooting for him.
It's a huge task.
Democrats won't clap for balancing the budget. No way.
Maybe in the red.
With that goal in mind, we have developed in great detail what we are calling the Gold Card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated. And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay, and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country, we will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money. Americans have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. For nearly 100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed our freedoms, ballooned our deficits, and held back America's potential in every possible way. The nation founded by pioneers and risk-takers now drowns under millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days to get instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. my administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again.
That's quite honorable. Yes. Yes. They get away with too much sitting on the couch doing nothing.
And any federal bureaucrat who resists this change will be removed from office immediately.
Yes. How about if you remove them from office?
Because we are draining the swamp. It's
anyway.
very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over.
Who's laughing?
Yeah.
They're pointing. See what are they pointing?
And the next phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history is for this Congress to pass tax cuts for everybody. They're in there. They're waiting for you to vote. And I'm sure that the people on my right, I don't mean the Republican right, but my right here, I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling you that.
Yes, I'm so glad he said that.
But I know this group is going to be voting for the tax.
Oh, he's trolling the Democrats so hard.
That's amazing.
It's so well deserved.
Yep. He's done playing nice.
That's what we need.
Boss.
Thank you.
Yeah, big lesson
It's a
learned.
very,
after
very
the
big
first time.
part of our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board.
Ooh, that
and
would
to
be
get
great.
urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime,
would also be
and no
amazing.
tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors.
That's a good one, yeah, for the senior.
All that. I
There's no
love all
reason.
that.
There's no reason to tax Social Security benefits.
Zero.
Jasmine Crockett walked out.
Good.
Good.
These are the
Hi,
worst.
Felicia.
She's one of the worst Democrats out there. And we're a family-friendly show.
And
right
I
now.
also want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America.
I like
We all went, I like that. I like it. Right.
And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like
they have
nobody's
Toyota
ever
in
seen.
Tennessee and
Plants
stuff.
are opening up all
Yeah,
over the
yeah,
place. Deals are being made. Never seen. That's a combination of the election win and tariffs. It's a beautiful word, isn't it? That, along with
Tariffs.
our other policies, will allow our auto industry to absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the majors today, all three, the top people, and they're so excited. In fact, already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world. And this has taken place since our great victory on November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country. In addition, as part of our tax cuts, we want to cut taxes on domestic production and all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy in the history of our country. First term. We had a
I
great
remember.
first term.
It was nice. I'm not gonna lie.
I was so good I was not even paying attention to politics.
If you don't
Yeah,
make your
exactly.
product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a
Yes.
tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair. India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher. And we give so much help militarily and in so many other ways to South Korea. But that's what happens. This is happening by friend and foe. This system is not fair to the United States and never was. And so on April 2nd, I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to be accused of April Fool's Day. That's
true,
not,
too.
Just one day cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us,
I think it's
we will tax
work.
them. Yeah. If they do non-monetary tariffs to keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market. There's a lot of that, too. They don't even allow us in their market. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars and create jobs like we have never seen before. I did it with China, and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We have been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer. Much has been said over the last 3 months about Mexico and Canada, but we have very large deficits with both of them. But even more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They are, in effect, receiving subsidies of hundreds of billions of dollars. We pay subsidies to Canada and to Mexico of hundreds of billions of dollars, and the United States will not be doing that any longer. We're not going to do it any longer. Thanks to our America First policies we're putting into place, we have had $1.7 trillion of new investment in America in just the past few weeks. The combination of the election and our economic policies that people of SoftBank, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment. OpenAI and Oracle, Larry Ellison, announced $500 billion investment, which they wouldn't have done if Kamala had won. Apple
The Biden administration was terrible.
$500 billion investment. Tim Cook called me. He said, I cannot spend it fast enough. It's going to be much higher than that, I believe. They'll be building their plants here instead of in China. And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most powerful in the world, has a tremendous amount, 97% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA.
Good.
And this time it'll actually work. No DEI is going to stop it.
What?
No DEI is going to stop.
Hopefully. I mean, yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's necessary for national security.
And we're not giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing.
And
we give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people, and they will come because they won't have to pay tariffs if they build in America. So it's very amazing. You should get rid of the CHIP Act.
I agree.
And whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt or any other reason you want to.
or any other reason.
Infrastructure, highways, bridges.
Our new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer. Who will now be selling into our home market, the USA, because nobody is going to be able to compete with you. Because those goods that come in from other countries and companies, they're really in a bad position in so many different ways. They're uninspected. They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in, and they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America, and our farmers, starting on April 2nd, it may be a little bit of an adjustment period. We had that before when I made the deal with China, $50 billion of purchases, and I said, just bear with me, and they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again, and this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases, and we were doing great, but Biden did not enforce it, and it hurt our farmers. But our farmers are going to have a field day right now. So to our farmers, have a lot of fun. I love you too. I love you too.
Have a lot of
It's all
fun.
going to happen. And I have also imposed a 25% tariff on foreign aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel, because if we don't have, as an example, steel and lots of other things, we don't have a military, and frankly, we just won't have a country very long. Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic person from Decatur, Alabama, Jeff Denard.
Shout out, Jeff.
Has been working at the same steel plant for 27 years in a job that has allowed him to serve as the captain of his local volunteer fire department, raise 7 children with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and over the years provide a loving home for more than 40 foster children. So
Even
great,
better.
Jeff.
Aw.
Shout out, Jeff.
Let's go, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Stories like Jeff's remind us that tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh.
Won't be much. Won't be long.
And look where Biden took us. Very low, the lowest we've ever been. Jeff, I want to thank you very much, and I also want to recognize another person who has devoted herself to foster care community. She works so hard on it. A very loving person, our magnificent First Lady of the United States.
Hey, bravo. I bet she does great work behind the scenes that we don't even know about.
Melania's work has yielded incredible results, helping prepare our nation's future leaders as they enter the workforce.
Exhibit A.
Our First Lady is joined by 2 impressive young women, very impressive. Haley Ferguson, who benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative and is poised to complete her education and become a teacher. And Elliston Berry, who became a victim of an illicit deepfake image produced by a peer.
Oh.
With Elliston's help, the Senate just passed the Take It Down Act, and this is so important. Thank you very much, John. John,
I don't know.
Thank you.
I don't know. I gotta
Stand
read
up,
that
John.
I was going to ask you,
I think it's like
Thank you, John.
revenge porn and other things like that.
Thank you all
Can't
very much.
post that stuff.
Well,
The deep fakes and
I think where the poster
Thank you.
is required to tell.
And thank you to John
Yeah, it's
Thune
related
and
to
the
adult
Senate.
content.
Okay.
Great job. To criminalize the publication of such images online is terrible, terrible thing. And once it passes the House, I look forward to signing that bill into law. Thank you. And I'm going to use that bill for myself, too, if you don't mind.
Hey, no,
Because nobody gets treated worse than I do
no toast
online.
for him.
Nobody. That's great. Thank you very much to the Senate. Thank you.
Who's making
But
that?
if we
I
truly
don't
care
know.
about protecting
People out there
Americans'
making
children,
AI
no
corn
step
of Donald Trump.
is more
No, just a
crucial
total
than
feline,
securing
probably.
America's
Yeah.
borders.
I mean, I don't think anything
Over the
crazy.
past 4
I mean,
years,
God
21
forbid.
million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers, gang members, and other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities all throughout the world. Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country, but we are getting them out and getting them out fast.
Good. Send them home. They're on the way.
And I want to thank Tom Homan and Christy. I want to thank you and Paul of Border Patrol.
Right.
I want to thank you. What a job they've all done. Everybody, Border Patrol, ICE, law enforcement in general is incredible. We have to take care of our law enforcement. Have to. Last year, a brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration.
Yes.
He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren.
I don't know how they're holding it together.
Last year, I told Laken's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act. It's called the Laken-Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never, ever forget our beautiful Laken Hope Riley.
Hearing the story about Laken Riley, how it went down is rough.
Yeah.
Rough.
Must be brutal to standing there with everyone cheering and clapping for you over your dead family member,
Yeah.
daughter, or sister.
Thank you very much. Since taking office, my administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history, and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you.
Are they booting?
I think it's Republicans
The media
booing the
and
Democrats.
our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it's remarkable how few border crossings there are now, and and again, this goes back to what I was saying earlier. Donald Trump has demonstrated that the president can do
Joe
things.
Biden didn't just open our borders, he flew illegal aliens over them to overwhelm our schools, hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like nobody's ever seen before. Beautiful towns destroyed. Now, just as I promised in my inaugural address, we are achieving the great liberation of America. But there still is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungari from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are 2 illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight, I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order?
Wow.
You're gonna sign the executive order right there, huh?
Yeah, amazing. This is like the liveliest State of the Union address, or whatever you want to call it, I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Joint session.
Yeah.
I love how he.
Making sure everyone can get a clear picture.
Thank you very much. All 3 savages charged with Jocelyn and Lakin's
savages.
murders were members of the Venezuelan prison gang, the toughest gang, they say, in the world, known as Tren de Aragua. 2 weeks ago, I officially designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations.
Wow.
Finally.
Democrats just don't care.
If I understand correctly, there are Reaper drones now in over Mexico.
Really?
Yeah, the Reaper drones with the jets, I guess. So
They are now officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them.
Wow.
Countless thousands of these terrorists were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration. But now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or, if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a warrior on the front lines of that battle, Border Patrol Agent Roberto Ortiz. Great guy.
Great guy.
Easy there with that Hark on out stuff. It's the Democrats nervous.
Look at Roberto Melby beforehand.
In January, Roberto and another agent were patrolling by the Rio Grande near an area known as Cartel Island. Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting at them, Roberto saw that his partner was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety, just barely. I have some of the prints of that event, and it was not good. Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great courage and for your line of fire that you took and for the bravery that you showed. We honor you, and we will always honor you. Thank you, Roberto, very much. Thank you, Roberto. And I actually got to know him on my many calls to the border. He's a great gentleman. The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, rape, torture, and exercise total control. They have total control over a whole nation, posing a grave threat to our national security. The cartels are waging war in America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing.
Wow. I'm watching a lot of videos lately about this, about how it's going down, who's in charge, and
Securing our borders and keeping them out, I'm fine with. Incursions in Mexico, no way.
5 nights ago, Mexican authorities, because of our tariff policies being imposed on them, think of this, handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy. First time ever.
You want to make us happy.
But we need Mexico and Canada to do much more than they've done, and they have to stop the fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA. They're going to stop it. I have sent Congress a detailed funding request laying out exactly how we will eliminate these threats to protect our homeland and complete the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than current record holder President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a moderate man, but someone who believed very strongly in borders. Americans expect Congress to send me this funding without delay so I can sign it into law. So, Mr. Speaker, John Thune, both of you, I hope you're going to be able to do that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Mr. Leader, thank you. Thank you very much. And let's get it to me. I'll sign it so fast, you won't even believe it.
Sign it so fast.
Johnson's been fairly lukewarm as a
And as we reclaim
Speaker.
our sovereignty,
which is good.
we must
considering how
also
speakers
bring
usually are
back
bad.
law
Yeah.
and order to our cities and towns.
he had the whole FISA thing.
What's the whole FISA thing?
He was going to fund Ukraine, and then he went
In recent years,
the shift.
our justice system has been turned upside down
That was
by
a big deal.
radical left lunatics.
Where he switched courses.
Many
He just pointed at the
jurisdictions
Democrats.
virtually
Wait, what?
ceased
Where he switched
enforcing
courses?
the law
Oh, he went to the skip.
against
They talked to him and
dangerous,
came back.
repeat
Yeah.
offenders while weaponizing law enforcement against
I mean, I don't know. Was they both said in
political
there, you know.
opponents like me. My administration has acted swiftly and decisively to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law, starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck.
Okay.
Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck. Pam Bond.
Handball.
Good luck.
And this
So
CR too,
important.
Phil. The CR.
Gonna
He
do a
said
great
He was going to do a
job.
big CR.
Cash.
Continued resolution.
Thank you.
And then he did a big one.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
mean,
Cash.
look,
No one's perfect.
well, no, it's not just that no one's perfect. the conditions in the House are why these
Oh, there's
things happen.
cash.
Okay.
Because they don't have the
They've
votes. They have
already
a
started
razor
very
thin margin
strong.
in the
They're
House.
gonna do a fantastic
and
job.
just
You're
a
gonna be
couple
very proud
defections
of
from the
them.
Republicans means that they
We're also
you know,
once
can't
again
have it passed.
giving our police officers the
like, this is-
support, protection, and respect they
because
so
of the way that the
dearly
House
deserve.
is now,
They have
and
to
the same
get
thing
it.
in the Senate.
They have
It's
such
like
a hard, dangerous
how the
job.
sausage
But we're
is
going to make
made
it less dangerous.
is a big part of
the
what's
problem
going
is
on.
the bad
You
guys
have to
don't
do
respect
things,
the
you have
law,
to
but they're
compromise
starting to
because you
respect
don't
it, and they
need to
soon
push
will
through.
respect it.
Gotcha.
This also includes our great fire departments throughout the country. Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice. One year ago this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much.
We were talking to you know.
Stephanie, we're going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer. And tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law.
As just general federal law? Or is he referring to illegal immigrants?
I don't know. I'm not clear.
I thought that was about illegal immigrants.
That was been the focus of the last 5 minutes.
I'm also asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed.
Whoa.
Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
Oh, this guy. Here we go, Daniel. I like his dad's shirt. He's definitely from Texas. Let's go, DJ.
He's just like,
Texas shirt and everything, man.
Yeah. He's so silly. He's excellent.
awkward.
It'd be weird going to school.
Yeah.
Well, I saw your dad holding you up to the president, man. It's crazy.
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer.
Oh, geez.
The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
Hey.
Oh, nice. Good story.
It is more than 6 years ago. It's 7.
Yes. Yeah, rock on. There you go. Hopefully it's another 75 more years, brother.
Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer Actually, a number of times. The police love him. The police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Nice.
He's got too many commissions already.
If I
He's going
understand
to be like,
correctly,
and your first task is to arrest them. And he points at Democrats.
that dude Sean was also on stage with Trump when Trump was shot. He's in the picture, the famous.
Oh, yeah, he
picture.
looks familiar.
Yeah, he's in he's one of the dudes on stage.
Oh
yeah,
job than those lady Secret
Yeah.
Service agents.
The most decorated person in American history is a 9-year-old kid. I'm sorry.
Does that kid know that taking that commission means he's going to use his own body as a witness for the president?
He has no idea.
Man, that's amazing stuff. I love it.
Thank you, DJ.
That's awesome.
DJ's doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger.
Wow.
Since 1975, rates of child cancer have increased by more than 40%. Reversing this trend is one of the top priorities for our new presidential commission to make America healthy again, chaired by our new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, Jr.
I like the structure of the speech.
It was close to a Roman. The finger was out. But still.
It's fine. They'll say it was.
Yeah.
Like when Steve did it, he raised his arm to his right side, and they called it around. It's like, are you nuts?
With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been cheering. How quickly they forget.
Wow.
Our goal is to get toxins out of our environment, poisons out of our food supply, and keep our children healthy and strong. As an example, not long ago, and you can't even believe these numbers, 1 in 10,000 children had autism. 1 in 10,000.
It's 1 in 30.
And now it's 1 in 36.
Wait, what?
There's something wrong.
Yeah.
1 in 36.
F?
Think of that. So we're going to find out what it is, and there's nobody better than
insane.
Bobby and all of the people that are working with you. You have the best to figure out
The chat's
what is
calling him
going
Roman
on.
FK.
Yeah, Bobby, good luck. It's a very important job. Thank you. Go get him. Thank you. My administration is also working to protect our children from toxic ideologies in our schools. A few years ago, January Littlejohn and her husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly socially transitioned their 13-year-old little girl. Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronouns. They, them pronoun, actually, all without telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate against this form of child abuse. January, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hitler used to do that too. With a hand up.
Is that Johnson clapping into his microphone again?
Probably.
Thank you. Stories like this are why, shortly after taking office, I signed an executive order banning public schools from indoctrinating our children with transgender ideology.
Oh, Democrats are salty about that one.
We want to trans the kids.
I also signed an order to cut off all taxpayer funding to any institution that engages in the sexual mutilation of our youth.
Yes. I love how the Democrat Party is falling.
And now I want Congress to pass a bill permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body.
Amen.
This
Thank
is a
you.
big lie.
Amen.
Let's bring Billboard Chris on, man. Who knows what's up?
There's no such thing as a
And
trans
our
child.
message
Amen.
to every child in America is that you are perfect exactly
Yes.
the way God made you.
Great message.
What if they have like club foot or something? And you gotta
Well,
like,
then you got it. Just perfect the way you are.
just we can fix that. You know?
Because we're getting wokeness out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so much better for it, don't we? Don't we feel
We sure
better?
do, President Trump.
Our service members won't be activists and ideologues. They will be fighters and warriors. They will fight for our country. And Pete, congratulations. Secretary of Defense, congratulations.
Peace.
Most cases can be treated with non-surgical Ponseti method.
Yeah, they cast it, or like they do massage and stuff.
Yeah.
But you don't leave it.
And he's not big into the woke movement, I can tell you. I know him well. I am pleased to report that in January, the U.S. Army had its single best recruiting month in 15 years, and that all armed services are having among the best recruiting results ever in the history of our services. What a difference.
Wow.
that.
When you let the Army be the Army, people want to join the Army,
When you let men be men.
right?
Yes.
And you
Aggressive
know, it was
men, that's
just
who we are.
a few months ago where the results were exactly the opposite. We couldn't recruit anywhere. We
Crazy.
couldn't recruit. Now we're having the best results just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People love our country again. It's very simple. They love our country, and they love being in our military again. So it's a great thing, and thank you very much. Great job. Thank you.
Yeah, I love that.
Democrats still sitting.
Yeah, they're not happy.
So Democrats aren't
joined
cheering for our
tonight-
military.
Nope.
By a young man, Jason Hartley, who knows the weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a six-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA.
Wow.
And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point.
It looks like it's ready to go.
Yeah, he looks like he was born and bred for that.
He's walking back ready to rock. We need to shift it a little bit though.
And Jason, that's a very big deal getting in. That's a hard one to get into. But I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
No, what a way to get it.
Yeah.
The president just said, hey.
You're in, Bill. He's got a lot to live up to now. This guy goes through.
Thank you. Jason, you're going to be on the long gray line, Jason. As Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA.
Golden Dome.
Golden Dome.
Do we need it though?
The point is to defend against nuclear weapons.
The Russians.
And Ronald Reagan
Or is he Jews?
wanted
No,
to do
the
it long
Russians.
ago, but the technology just wasn't there, not
Spent too
even
much time
close.
in the
But
chat.
now we have the technology. It's incredible, actually. And other places they have it. Israel has it. Other places have it. And the United States should have it too, right? Tim,
Yeah,
right?
it's not a bad idea.
They should have it too. So I want to thank you, but it's a very, very important. This is
Kanye
a
just tweeted, wokeness
very
is bad,
dangerous
wokeness
world.
is
We should
trouble.
have
It's
it. We
gone.
want to
Thank
be
you,
protected,
President
and
Trump.
we're going to protect our citizens like never before. To boost our defense industrial base, we are also going to resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military shipbuilding.
Industry.
Please, yes.
And for that purpose, I am announcing
Oh, Warren's
tonight
clapping.
that we will create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House and offer special tax incentives to bring this industry home to America where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact. To further
Make
enhance
America
our
make
national
ships again.
security,
No, make shipbuilding
my
great again.
administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal,
Oh, yeah.
and we've already started doing it.
Going to be really? Going to be reclaiming? Allegedly, BlackRock has bought a couple of the ports.
Yep. Big ones.
Just
Two big
today,
ones.
a large American company
There you go.
announced they are buying both ports around the Panama Canal and lots of other things having to do with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals. The Panama Canal was built by Americans for Americans, not for others, but others could use it. But it was built at tremendous cost of American blood and treasure. 38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal.
Jeez.
They died of malaria. They died of snake bites
I'm
and
sure there were
mosquitoes.
lots of
Not a
feminists
nice
down there building the
place to
Panama
work.
Canal dying
They
for
paid
that.
them very highly
Boss
to go
bitches.
there, knowing there was a
Right.
25% chance that they would die. The most expensive project also that was ever built in our country's history, if you bring it up to modern day costs. It was given away by the Carter administration for $1, but that agreement has been violated very severely. We didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
I like it.
China.
China keeps encroaching. Take a break.
And we have Marco Rubio in charge. Good luck, Marco.
Hello.
Now, we know who to blame if anything goes wrong. Marco's been amazing, and he's going to do a great
I
job.
like him low-key
Think of it, he got
threatening
100
Marco
votes.
Everyone. Awesome.
You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes, and I'm either very, very happy about that or I'm very concerned about it. But he's already proven. I mean, he's a great gentleman. He's respected by everybody, and we appreciate you voting for Marco.
mean, it is
He's going to
kind
do a
of difficult.
fantastic job. Thank you.
Are they going to clap now?
Thank you.
Ah, look at that.
No,
He's
not
doing
yet.
a great
They're not
job.
showing it.
Come on, Democrats, you voted for him.
No, the Democrats.
Great job.
Nope. Not showing it.
I know.
Okay, why'd they do that?
And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future.
But
And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security, and I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it.
One way or the other.
Listen, something's going on
We
in
will keep
Greenland,
you
okay? And
safe.
he
Or the
knows
other.
what it is.
We will make you
Northwest
rich and
trade route.
together.
Yeah.
We will take Greenland to
Or
heights like you
aliens,
have never thought
Anunnaki,
possible
I mean,
before.
who knows?
It's a very small population, but very, very large piece of
Nephilim.
land and very, very important for military security. America is once again standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity. And he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice.
Wow. Okay. A lot of new updates.
Yeah.
that's a clap right there.
Dropping some
That's right there.
news.
Democrats are clapping. I can see it.
Well,
They're clapping.
there you go.
Not standing up, though.
Are we, we're not supposed to do it.
We are not having
Allegedly, Donald Trump is so charismatic that you can only resist his charisma for a short period of time, and that's why he
And
speaks
I
for
want
such
to
a long
thank
time.
especially
By
the
end
government of
the
Pakistan
speech,
for helping
Gets them
arrest
into
this
it.
monster. This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well, most of them, whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, so badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan. What a horrible day. Such incompetence was shown.
Yep.
That when Putin saw what happened, I guess he said, wow, maybe this is my chance. That's how bad it was. Should have never happened. Grossly incompetent people. I spoke to many of the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call. Every one of them called, and everybody was on the line, and they did nothing but cry with happiness. They were very happy, as happy as you can be under those circumstances. Their child, brother, sister, son, daughter was killed for no reason whatsoever. In the Middle East, we're bringing back our hostages from Gaza. In my first term, we achieved one of the most groundbreaking peace agreements in generations, the Abraham Accords. And now we're going to build on that foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future for the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. But a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood, actually. I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything.
The Democrats finally clapping.
It feels like it's quiet. Like four of them.
They won't stop.
Do you want to keep it going
Yeah,
for
it
another
is.
5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
Hey!
Shots fired.
Awesome. Look at his face.
2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that. They're Russian young people. They're Ukrainian young people. They're not Americans. But I want it to stop. Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying Russian oil and gas than they have spent on defending Ukraine, by far. Think of that. They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending.
That's ridiculous.
And we've spent
But we're the
perhaps
bad guys.
$350 billion, like taking candy from a baby. That's what happened. And they've spent $100 billion. What a difference that is.
Wow.
And we have an ocean separating us, and they don't. But we're getting along very well with them, and lots of good things are happening. Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe has spent by billions and billions of dollars. It's hard to believe that they wouldn't have stopped it and said at some point, come on, let's equalize. You got to be equal to us. But that didn't happen. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintained its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago. Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful?
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Trump is being awfully magnanimous about this too now. So far, he might throw a jab in there.
Might.
You never can tell,
I'm waiting for it.
right?
Wouldn't that be beautiful? It's time to stop this madness. It's time to halt the killing. It's time to end this senseless war. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides. Nearly 4 years ago, amid rising tensions,
Democracy.
a history teacher named Mark Fogel was detained in Russia and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony. Rough stuff. The previous administration barely lifted a finger to help him. They knew he was innocent, but they had no idea where to begin. But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine, that we would bring her boy safely back home. After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight.
Nice.
The only time the Democrats clapped was to cheer for a foreign country and not the United States.
Yeah.
Not any of its successes, victories, not the apprehension of terrorists, not the cutting of wasteful spending, only to cheer for Ukraine.
Yeah.
Democrats are just
They're insane.
They're just anti-American.
I don't understand how we.
Mike Johnson's got to stop clapping into his microphone.
It's freaking annoying.
To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with us. As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania. Have you heard of it?
Oh, shoot.
Where his mother has lived for the past 78 years. I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally.
Oh, really?
That was not pleasant. And that is where I met his beautiful mom right before I walked onto that stage. And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And I never did I? Never forgot. Less than 10 minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged assassin unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch, but some were not so lucky. Corey Comparator was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own body.
Yeah, that's a hero right
Corey was hit
Protect
really
his family.
hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs. 2 others, very fine people, were also seriously hit. But thankfully, with the help of 2 great country doctors, we thought they were gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their 2 beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you.
Oh, somebody get that third person.
I was just thinking she's going to look at she's going to see this. She's going to be like, oh my God, how can I be so
Her father's
Looks like
passed
they
away.
put Crisco
I don't
on
like
it.
celebrating the deaths of people. It makes no sense to me.
Poor dear's been through enough.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be a center spotlight. Look at them. Nobody likes this. They hate it.
Oh, it's awful.
Freaking politics is stupid.
To Helen, Allison, and Kaylee, Corey is looking down on his 3 beautiful ladies right now, and he is cheering you on. He loves you. He is cheering you on.
That's nice.
Corey was taken from us much too soon, but his destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot.
Okay.
It was love like Corey's that built our country, and it's love like Corey's that is going to make our country more majestic than ever before. I believe that my life was saved that day in Butler for a very good reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that.
Yeah, make it happen, brother. Make it happen.
They should have never tried to kill him. They should have never done that.
But if the outcome is what it is,
Oh, it's great for us. It's going to be bad for all the people who oppose what Trump's doing because he's serious now.
Thank you very much. From the patriots of Lexington and Concord to the heroes of Gettysburg and Normandy, from the warriors who crossed the Delaware to the trailblazers who climbed the Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk to the astronauts who touched the moon, Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom. And as we have seen in this chamber tonight, that same strength, faith, love, and spirit is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American people. Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free, and we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country, because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors crossed a vast ocean, strode into the unknown wilderness, and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier. They chased our destiny across a boundless continent. They built the railroads, laid the highways, and graced the world with American marvels like the Empire State Building, the mighty Hoover Dam, and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel. We stand on the shoulders of these pioneers who won and built the modern age. These workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities. These warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. Now it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty.
let's go.
And it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth.
Heck yeah.
We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we are going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond.
We're gonna be the show, the book Expanse, in a little bit.
Notice the Democrats are
And
wearing
through it all,
pink.
we are going to
Google
rediscover
it
the
and see what the pink
unstoppable
stands
power
for.
It's
You know what I mean?
something
of the
about-
American
It's something
spirit.
outstanding for women, but they
and
didn't
we are
vote.
going
They
to
all voted
renew
against
unlimited
actual
promise of the
policies that
American
would
dream.
support women.
Every single
look,
day,
you
we
look
will
at some
stand
white
up and we will fight,
Same
fight,
thing.
fight for the country our citizens believe in and for the country our people deserve.
I agree.
Fight, 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 he said.
The seats are up to you over there, the left, look at. Fight.
Great chat. Don't forget to like this stream. One
Yeah,
like
there you
equals
go.
one fight,
My
fight,
fellow
fight. Don't
Americans,
forget.
get ready
Smash
for
the like
an
button,
incredible
y'all.
future because the golden age of America has only just begun.
That's what I'm
it
talking
will
about.
be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless
There you go.
America.
Hey, buddy.
My camera died. My camera died.
Hey,
Yep.
we're done?
Yeah.
How does that work?
I don't know. Cable fell out or something.
Oh.
But I can still talk. Cable fall out. What happened?
The blue guy?
Turned off.
I'm back. Temperature?
On too long?
Oh, is it cooled off?
Thank you.
Oh, that's crazy.
Welcome
Well, I
back,
would
Tim.
say that was very based.
It was a good.
Liked it.
Yeah, it was really good.
I was so glad to be here with you gentlemen during this historic moment. Feel very
Yeah.
honored for that.
Well, we were
well.
talking about it because the worst thing in the world is when we have like specialist guests who come on a day where we're mostly just providing commentary and hanging out.
Yeah.
So we were like, we need someone specifically who is commentary on social issues to hang out with us for the show. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That was the most incredible State of the Union I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, it was also the craziest. What with
Right.
Al
The
Green?
heckling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people have made there's a point being made by a lot of people that during Obama, some Republican yelled, "You lied," and the media went nuts.
Yeah.
And now you have constant heckling the whole time. The only time Democrats clapped was for a foreign
For
country.
Ukraine.
Heckling and
Oh my
people
gosh.
walking out like the whole night. Like if you
Yeah.
look at the Democrats, the House side, like there were significantly fewer people at the end than were there in the beginning.
Yeah,
and
I
they
think a lot of them left.
said that they were going to do it. The intent was to show that they were, to be disrespectful.
Right. No egg cartons though.
No,
That's
thankfully.
unfortunate.
Her like hand clappers and stuff and all that, but yeah.
They did have those signs, and those signs
Yeah,
are
they're-
memes. There are plenty of memes out there now. They're
Green
great.
screens.
Yeah.
There's ones where they made them all green.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. That was it. That was the not State of the Union, State of the Union. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us as we watched live. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. So no Uncensored tonight because it's late, and I gotta go to bed. I have a family now, and
Yes, you do.
I gotta go home.
Congratulations,
Yes, you do.
by the way.
I'm gonna keep saying it a million times because it's like the best thing in the world. And smash the like button. Share the show if you really do enjoy it. Word of mouth is the best way. Yeah, everybody always wonders like, how do podcasts get big? It's because people who watch them tell their friends to watch them or listen with their friends and share it. So that would be greatly appreciated. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast, and make sure to join Rumble Premium. Go to timcastpremium.com. And it will automatically direct you to Rumble Premium to watch our Green Room behind the scenes show at rumble.com/Timcast IRL, which is a lot of fun. It's uncensored. We're talking about boob milk today with Rachel.
And you
We were.
And
Yeah.
you did the Chicken City.
I played Chicken City song.
Yeah,
So that's
Chicken
fun.
City, yeah.
That's up at rumble.com/Timcast IRL for premium users. Rachel, did you want to shout anything out?
Yeah, you guys can follow me on X at Rach4Patriarchy. You can watch my backlog of fantastic debates where I defeat feminists and male feminists alike at thecrucible.video. All my old debates are on there. You can also go to Modern Day Debate and watch some of my debates if you want to, or go to The Crucible on YouTube and watch my debates. I would love it if you guys would go watch them.
One of my biggest, my first viral clips was you here on the Culture War, getting it in with Lauren Chen and those folks, and it was excellent about women defending themselves, which is nice.
Right, right.
Guys, I'm Raymond G. Stanley Jr. I'm on the non-existent show Blue Collar Cast. Follow me on X at Raymond G. Stanley Jr. Phil.
I am Phil That Remains on Twix. I'm Phil That Remains Official on Instagram. The band is All That Remains. You can check out our brand new record that dropped on January 31st. It is called Anti-Fragile. You can check it out on YouTube, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, Spotify, and Deezer. Don't forget the left lane is for crime.
We are back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for the live morning news show. And there's a lot of stuff that we got to dive into, especially that news around 45,000 IRS agents getting the axe. Yeah. And the reactions, of course, to the speech are going to be hilarious. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see y'all tomorrow.